Hello. I'm glad to see you all back here once again. Yes, good evening to you. This is the Retro Bear. Rather smartly dressed this evening. I think I'll have you fine. I've got the old Retro Bear t-shirt underneath a rather smart-looking jacket. Well, I say smart-looking for me anyway. Hello, once again. Welcome to a special episode of the tNb Gaming Podcast this evening. Sunday the 6th of March is 8 o'clock. I'm glad to see that people are joining us, and they'll be joining us throughout the evening. I've got a panel backstage and a little bit of a relaxed mode to this evening's events. We're going to be celebrating 50 episodes of the tNb Gaming Podcast, and also tied in with that a 2-year anniversary. We started doing that at the same time as well. I've just seen who's turned up on the panel. They've made an effort. This is fantastic. Hope you're all well. Nice to have you here tonight. And we have people in the chat. Now, I should say before we start, I was hoping to get all the lads here tonight. And unfortunately, Rob, he's not going to be able to join us. He's at work, but he does send his best wishes. And hopefully it won't be too long before we have him back on the chat again. But like I said, work commitments and work patterns is always something which throws a podcast out a little bit. So unfortunately, Rob can't be with us, but Nate at the Game Shack is here. Good evening, Nate. Retro Claire is here as well. Happy birthday, tNb. Thank you very much, Claire. Susie's here as well, and we're all good. Yep, lovely. Nice to see you here, Susie. Joe Gaming Girly is here. Nice to see you again, Joe. Becoming a regular on the chat. Bear dress for course. It's been a while since I've worn it. It's a lot tight around the middle. I'm not sure why. I think my clothes seem to shrink when they go in the wardrobe for a long period of time. Where have we got? Steve Cooper's World is here. Happy birthday. Thank you, Steve. Nice of you to join us this evening. Retrodome Music, good evening to you again. Nice to see you here. Regular viewer of the tNb podcast on a Sunday now. Paul Retrobait is here. Hi, Paul. Nice to see you in. I'm glad you could join us this evening. Need to get back to you about what we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, but I think the answer is going to be yes on that one, but I'll come back to you about that. JBTV is here. Yeah, good evening to you. How's every Sunday evening? Hopefully, it's going to be a very entertaining evening. Hope you're going to enjoy this evening. It's just a little bit different. James, Retro and Import Gamer UK. James, good to see you, my friend. Nate says, my clothes have been shrinking weekly. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Probably since around about 2 years ago. They just seem to have got smaller and smaller and smaller. Anyway, those are the comments out the way. Later on, if we have time, I'm hoping we have a bit of time, we'll be able to take some questions, but don't put any questions at the moment in the chat because they're going to get absorbed. We're going to do the usual stuff we do first, bring the lads in, have a quick chat about some games. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the podcast and then and what we've done and how we got this far. And then hopefully towards the end, we'll be able to take some questions from you guys in the comments, but not at the moment, please, if you can hold off until then. And hopefully a little bit later on, we're hoping to have a guest on as well, around about 9 o'clock. So do stay tuned for that, Paul. Brilliant. Yes, I know. Fantastic. We'll get that sorted out with you. And also Ian's here. Happy birthday, tNb. Looking sharp, I think. Yes, very nice. Thank you, Ian. Ian of the RGB Gaming Podcast, formerly Sam Hain Gaming. That's because Ian's got a new project lined up, which I'm sure we'll be unleashing on the world very, very shortly. Keith is here, LFC Gamer and Vlogs, looking rather dapper, thank you. Well, it's a special occasion, Keith, 50 episodes. That's what we're here for. Anyway, let's bring the boys in. First, we arrived this evening all the way from the east coast of England. Nice to have him back. Always a pleasure to welcome the sexiest man on YouTube. It is, of course, Nath Retro One. Good evening, Nath.
Hello, and happy anniversary, everybody. Up for the East Coast Massive.
Yep, very much so. How are you, my friend? Are you all right?
I'm good. I didn't get the best dress memo, so I'm just here. So
no, that's okay. That's okay. Well, it is what it is. It was optional. I didn't, I only decided to pull this out the wardrobe at the last minute. But that's one of those things. Speaking of well-dressed people, Retro Chef's here. Sorry, I was speaking about somebody else. Sorry. Speaking of people, Retro Chef's here. Good to see you. Looks like I'm going for an interview. Yeah, well, I've had the court one and I've got the interview one. So any more jacket jokes? Anybody want to get those in before we start?
With your headphones, it looks like you've got like a chain around your neck. You look some 80s kind of pop star.
Well, it's better than looking in the call centre like I usually do. That's the other one. It's been levied at me working in the call centre or selling insurance over the phone. So anyway,
awesome. So many people are here, though. Thanks everyone for coming along.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, week on week, week on week, every other week when we do these, every episode, we seem to get more and more people in, and it's good that people do come along and enjoy these things and insult the host. So that's good. That's great.
That's it. Oh boy.
Del Boy, yeah, thank you. It's better suit than Del Boy, mate. I tell you. Big Game Al's here. Good evening, Al. Hope you're okay. Pete spent the last 2 days putting clothes out the wardrobe trying to find the perfect outfit. We'll get to Pete in a second because he's looking incredibly smart this evening. What's this one here? The new James Bond. I don't think so somehow.
James Bear. That's a cartoon character. I heard one.
Haven't you got to be active to do something like that and fit and healthy? It's definitely not me.
James Bond an alcoholic? Probably not.
Yeah, it reminds me of Fraser Crane. Yeah, it's probably a bit more close to where it is. There we go. Right, let's bring in our second panel member all the way from Sheffield, and he's looking incredibly smart tonight. Quite easily the sharp dressed man. He's got his own theme tune. If you get the ZZ top music going on, we'll probably get taken off there. Anyway, it is. Yeah, you can sing it. Yeah, it's Pete Fighter 2. Good evening, Pete.
Just because I've got the beard doesn't mean I can sing it, man. Good evening.
Loving the look, mate. Nice shirt and tie there.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, we're doing fine, mate. Yeah. Can you show us your tie because it looks like it's you showed us earlier? So if I can just give you a big screen a second.
I've completely forgot I had this. I don't know if it shows up on there, but
yeah, there we go. Lovely.
Space Invaders tie just for a special occasion.
Yeah, very special occasion.
It's by a company called Black Tie Geek, and I've also got a bow tie with like Dungeons and Dragons stuff on it as well. But my cat used to wear that, so that's a bit sacred.
Cat.
Yeah, my old cat. We've got a big picture on the wall of her wearing it. It's
very
awesome.
good. Yeah, and everything okay with you since we last spoke to you?
Oh yeah, brilliant. I've pulled myself out a nice special occasion tipple as well for tonight, which I've been kind of scared of trying. It's only a miniature, and it probably won't pick it up on the camera. But it's called Tiki Fire, and it's a nice 75% rum. I've been a bit scared of drinking it, but it's not picking it up.
75%. Wow.
Yeah, so I've been a bit scared of drinking that, but I'm gonna try it out tonight.
Well, if we're all going to special occasion, then I'm going to be drinking that. So there we go.
Oh, you got John
going to be smashed by about 9 o'clock.
Well, I've got the old non-alcoholic lager. This is quite nice stuff actually. This is Birra Moretti, which sounds like a brand of car, but actually it's really, really nice. Compared to some like non-alcoholic lagers I've drunk, which just taste like chemicals, that actually tastes like proper lager. It really is very nice. Steve said he needs a link to the bow tie company if you could buy one at some point.
Yeah, it's Black Tie Geek, they're called. I've not got a link, but I'm sure if you Google it, I'm sure they'll come up.
That's the lazy man's way of saying, yeah, I can't be bothered to post a link, but there we go. That's all right.
Cheers, all.
What's it like?
That's smooth.
That's smooth. You're breathing flames by the end of this, aren't you?
Oh, wait. If I've got to start people drinking, I've got to say Pikmin, haven't I?
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Speaking of black ties, there's somebody else who's just turned up wearing a black tie. And believe me, this has been like trying to dynamite a large rock to force him to do this, but against his will, because here is a man who doesn't wear shirts, but tonight he's worn a tie just for the occasion. I'm happy to say he's wearing other clothes as well. It is Sean at Retro Games Revived.
Another fine mess you've got me into.
I love it, mate.
If you two combine your outfits, you might actually make a full suit.
Yeah, we could do. Yeah.
I see an 80s cop show, or like.
I love that.
In touch 30 years later.
Starsky and Hutch, the skid years. Yeah.
A blazer without a tie says 80s pop star, but a tie without a shirt says stripper.
That's the pop star thing. Thank you.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't like wearing shirts, so for me, this is the perfect thing. One of the very first formal dues I ever went to, we said, "Have I got to wear a shirt?" And they said, "No, but you got to wear a suit." I said, "Okay, well, I wear a suit with a t-shirt." So I wore a white t-shirt under a suit. very 80s. This was 1997, something like that. So it's still
have a gold chain.
No, not that day. No, I thought that was a bit too much. How are you, Sean? Anyway,
I'm good, mate. Thank you. Congratulations, everybody, and happy 50th anniversary.
Yeah, that's just Yeah,
we've
we've
done
it,
mate. Yeah.
Oh no, we'll talk about that shortly. I mean, that's a heck of an achievement. It's the real Four Guys, says Big Game Al. Yeah, we're all wearing different costumes tonight. Looks like some wedding do. Yes, some wedding do. I would say, you know, where the dress code is optional. You know, come vaguely tidy. You know,
Come as you are. As you were.
Sure looks like a tidy Cyberman. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Trevor's here. Good evening, Trevor, rock and roller. Right, well, let's bring in the final member because he's here as well, and he's also dressed up for the evening.
Is he? I can't wait to see it.
You can't wait to see it. You can't wait to see it. He's here. He's here. It's roller call. It's Eddie.
Oh, no.
Eddie's come straight off the set of Wall Street. We can't hear you. Have you muted yourself? He's been sitting there ages. No, we still can't hear you. Let me drop you in and out again. Hang on a second. Hang on, let me drop you in and out. I've gone. There we go. Well, that was a big introduction, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden, I'll keep going through the comments while we wait for them to come back. There's a big cock on the Antiques Roadshow. That's interesting. Good evening, Duncan. Thanks for sharing that with us. Is Rob dressed up as well? He's at work, I presume. He's dressed up.
Yeah.
That's it. Generation Pixel. Stuart, good evening, mate. Hope you're okay. Game Shack says Eddie's still in his school uniform. Eddie's got red on him.
School uniform tie somewhere, but I'm not going to find it.
Technical difficulties and wardrobe problems, I suppose. That's the other thing as
well. Isn't that part of the bingo? Finish your drink. Technical difficulties, or somebody dropping out at some point for no.
It is. I mean, there's so many over the years now. I mean, we'll get to them. Sean's on a mission tonight. Looks like a school reunion. Yeah, it's the sort of school reunion you stay away from, isn't it? Really, you know.
This is why we don't do them.
all with varying degrees of success, you know, all sitting here drinking heavily, and then Pete's gone now as well. There we go. Check out the iPlayer.
5% rum he's had.
Yeah, he's got carried away. Okay, well, we're here anyway. So, like I said at the start, we're gonna have we'll go around and have a quick chat about what we've been playing, and then we'll talk a bit more about the podcast and whatever, and then a bit later on, we'll take some questions from.
We have a special guest.
And we have a special guest at 9 o'clock as well. Yeah, I'd like to cram in. Tonight. Not usually like this. So, Nath, have you been playing anything you'd like to share with us at all recently?
I have. I've been playing a lot of games recently.
Lovely. That's what we like.
I might even be able to reach some of them. Ooh, hang
on. Man killed by falling games.
Yeah, crushed to death. So, I played quite a few games. I'm trying to do this 52 game challenge in a year, but this last month's been a bit barren so far. So I'll go through some of the ones I've been playing. I have played and completed Oddworld Stranger's Wrath on the Switch.
Oh, yes, yeah. Which is I know you're a big fan of that, aren't you?
Sorry?
You're a big fan of that game, yeah. It
was on the original Xbox, and they've redone it in HD. And I think it was only like a tenner at Argos. It was really cheap, so I thought it was too good to pass up at that price on the Switch. So I picked it up, played through, and completed it again. And it's still a really good game. It still plays really well today, so I'm happy to get that one. What else have I got? Spoil the pickups video, but hey ho, never mind. I have got Xenoblade Chronicles on the Switch.
Oh, very nice.
Which I was in two minds whether or not to get this or another Switch game, but I really wanted to play this, and I found it quite awkward to play on the Wii. So I picked that one up, and I've been giving that one a go. Also, like I said, I'll spoil my pickups. Final Fantasy 3 on Nintendo DS. So I didn't realise that Final Fantasy 3 wasn't released in any of the Anthology or Origin collections on the PlayStation. It was the only one that wasn't. I think I can't remember which way around it was, but one of the games had 1 and 2, and one of the games had 3 and 4, and then you had 4 and 5. Sorry, so 3 wasn't released, 6 was on its own, and then 7, 8, 9 or single to them. So this has only been released on DS and mobile phone, I think, for Android. So I've been playing those games recently. And Earthbound on the Switch on the NES store. So I was on the NES. No, it's not that one, though, is it, Steve? Final Fantasy 3 is Final Fantasy 6 because they did the whole American thing where they called it Final Fantasy 3 when it was actually Final Fantasy 6, which is very confusing.
I'm sure we discussed that previously on a previous episode. You know,
a number of times, I think.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah. No, this one isn't released on another console unless they've done it on PSP. I'm not sure about that.
Feed me chicken is here clucking smart. Yes, I thought we've made the effort. I think
always on brand.
Yeah, been trying to get through some games. That's not ones I've completed, but yeah, a lot of kind of RPGs and things like that I kind of really want to get stuck into. So that's why it's been a bit of a quiet month on the 52 game group. But yeah, all really, really good games. Definitely recommend all of those.
Lovely. If anybody's played any of those or got any recommendations, do let us know in the comments below. Joe says getting into the DS. Keep finding cheat games for it. Really enjoying it. Finished a lot of games on the DS. And,
who did's got it? I couldn't remember which way around it was.
Yeah.
I mean...
What's that? So Final Fantasy Origins is Final Fantasy 1 and 2. Final Fantasy Anthology is 4 and 5.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I can never remember which way around it was.
Yeah.
The DS version of 3 is really good as well.
I've been enjoying it so far. I haven't got too far into it, but yeah, it is. It's one of the ones that just wasn't released on any other system other than the DS. I found out, and I was kind of surprised that it wasn't. So yeah, I thought I'd pick that up and have a go.
Back on the original as well, your characters were all just kind of bland, sort of this one's the mage, this one's the onion knight, and all that kind of thing. But the DS version actually gives them backstories and character as well. So
yeah, it's they've redone the graphics for this one as well. So whereas the original one was in NES, I think, or Famicom graphics, as I don't think we got it on the NES. This one they have actually redone, and it looks really nice in the DS graphics. It's definitely worth picking up. I think you'll probably get it cheaper on eBay. I think eBay's going for around 11 quid. It's 15 in CX, but I had some credit, so I managed to pick it up and get quite a nice copy. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, bits and bobs with that one. It is quite fun. It's a little bit of a slow burner to get into, I think, originally, but you have to kind of persevere with it, as you do most kind of JRPGs, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, lovely. Champion 2D Rob is here as well. Evening, Rob. Am I going to an award show after this? Man, I wasn't planning on it. Are there any? I just called gate crash and turn up. Do you know who I am? Retro Bear, YouTuber extraordinaire. Or just YouTuber. Right. I think Eddie's in the backstage, so he's just setting up at the moment, so I was waiting for him to finish. Pete, have you been playing anything since we last spoke to you?
Mostly Horizon Forbidden West. It's took up a lot of my time. It's a massive game. I'm probably about 45 hours into that now, and I think I'm getting towards the end game, but I'm not 100% sure. But that's took up most of my time. More of the same, really, from the first one. I don't think I like it as much as the first one, but it is still phenomenal. And I think it's still going to be high up there on my Game of the Year list this year. Apart from that, it's mostly been... I've been playing Beneath the Steel Sky, the old original one. I started playing it on the Amiga, but as you all probably know, it's got about 15 discs.
Yes.
And...
Sounds about right.
When I was playing it in my youth, I was playing it on the 1200, and I think the extra sort of power behind it was sort of, speeding up load times and stuff like that. And tried playing it on the 500, and it was just like minutes of load times, and then like changing discs like 7 or 8 times between each scene, and then sometimes only being on a scene for a few seconds just as I pass from the left to the right, and then again it's the same with load times again. So I was losing my rag with that a little bit. I'm spoilt by modern gaming.
Understandable.
But I just happened to check if it was on Steam, and it's free on Steam. So I downloaded it on my laptop, and I've been playing it that way. Really good point and click game. Super good. I'm glad it got a sequel, but it's kind of one of them ones that needs sort of like a re-release on something, like the Switch or something. Because I think it's one that a lot of people have criminally missed out on, but it's a really good point and click game.
I think I played... sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say, I think I played that on the iPhone 3G, like when it came out, like a while back, but that's kind of like that. And I think I got a download on PC, but I didn't realize there was on that many discs. That's crazy. I can understand you get beat up about that. That's ridiculous.
Also, it doesn't start from disc 1; it starts from disc 0, which is mental. So it's like, which do I put in first?
Yeah.
But yeah, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's what's like hello to Rach, 8-bit Rach is here, and also Size here, Ginger Hippie as well. Right. Just want to recognise people when they come into the room. Thanks for joining us this evening on this special episode. Sorry, Pete, carry on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, I'm just saying the chief reason I'm playing it is because I accidentally bought Beyond the Steel Sky last year, and by accidentally I mean I pre-ordered it and then forgot about it. And I it's been sort of like 25 years since I played the first one, so I want that fresh in my mind before I go into the second one. So I'm really looking forward to playing that one as well. And apart from that, I've started on Generations Lost on the Mega Drive, which is like a sort of side-scrolling plot. It's not a very well-known one. It's a sort of side-scrolling platform beat-em-up kind of thing, but I think it was made by the same team who did one of the X-Men games, and it plays almost identical to that because they wanted to make a sequel but couldn't. And it's just about a sort of like a primitive civilization in a high-tech world, which is very familiar for people who've been playing Horizon. And yeah, you've got like this gauntlet on which can fire lasers out, and it can also like fire like sort of Spider-Man web kind of things for you to climb and swing and stuff. It's one that I had when I was a kid, and I really liked it, but I never got off the second level, so I'm kind of determined to finish it now. And I also played through Intrepid Izzy on the Dreamcast, which is it's a game that only came out last year, and it's a game that I've heard a lot of people on about buying and stuff, but not actually heard that much about people playing. So I really wanted to get through it, play through it, and see what the fuss was about, see if it actually was as good as it looked, and it really is. It's a fantastic game. It's like a Metroidvania stuff kind of game, but instead of like having like one big map, your maps are split up into little hubs. It's made by Senile Team, which is a company that I've sort of always been into since my sort of late teens, because they made a game called Beats of Rage on the Dreamcast, which was like a sort of conversion of Streets of Rage, but with King of Fighters sprites. And yeah, when I saw that they brought out a new game, it really excited me, so I had to get it, and I wasn't disappointed. There's a lot to do on that game. It's huge maps. There's like costumes to collect which change your abilities and stuff. If you'd have told me it was a AAA game for the Dreamcast back in the day, well, I wouldn't have believed that actually, because it's better than like stuff you'd get back in the day, even for 2D games. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I would have probably have put it up in my top 5 games of the year if I'd have remembered to do that.
Oh, right. Okay. That's good.
Super enjoyed it, and I'm hoping because it's only on the Dreamcast, I'm hoping they can manage to squeeze it onto the Evercade at some point, but I don't know. But yeah, that's about where I'm at.
Okay, lovely, mate. Thank you very much. Interesting, varied collection as always. Lord Birdsall, Earl of Dizzy, is here. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us in the chat. I've got you, Coke. Yeah. Well, he's never been on here, but he gets mentioned an awful lot, doesn't he? He's probably the sleeping partner of the podcast. But
he promised me he was coming on the next one. I've not forgot.
Yeah, that was episode 36, wasn't it? I think.
No, he promised me he was coming on. Is it 20th of March? Yeah, 20th of March, because my birthday is on the 25th. So I said all I wanted for my birthday was
that'll be a good one. That'll be a good one to watch. Yeah, we'll see on that one. Rob said, "Swear you lot are dressed up looking like you should be at work to mock me." I don't know. If I'd have been black ties and tuxedos tonight, everybody would have made a bit of an effort. Maybe, I don't know. Right, let's. I think he's completed his final deal of the day, so we should better bring him in now. Can you hear us, Eddie?
Well, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we can. We can. He's here.
Dickinson's real deal.
Straight from the trading floor.
Just took a couple of restarts, IT trick off and on again.
Yeah, that's it. Let's have a look at this great. Yeah, we go. Look at that. Was that the old piano type?
Piano one.
Yeah, proper leather. Well, fake leather, let's say.
He's got pocky with him as well.
It's only just like attached. It's like ready to pop at the seams any minute. I've not worn this for about 3 years.
I just had no problem tonight. That's why I've just put the jacket on.
If my arms are too high, I think all the stitching just going to go.
It's like your
Eddie,
school
that's
shirt,
not
is it?
Bucky's lead, is it? You've not got a spaniel tied to you.
Well, she's a bit restless at the moment because she knows the kids are having dinner at the moment. She's like, she wants to get out with them. But yeah, but currently we're on the old Marmite beer.
No wonder
God,
she's
what is
restless.
that? Not up. God.
I'll tell you what, I opened this and she was like, "What is that?" She's like, "I've opened a few beers before, but this one is like, she's been all over it."
Shouldn't really give a beer.
Yeah. The stream looks like a works meeting. Yeah. You'd actually dialed into a Zoom call, or as Ian says, the regional car phone warehouse meeting. Yeah. Oh dear me.
We need some graphs or something, don't we?
Oh, fantastic. Sean, what have you been playing recently?
Well, I've actually, I mean, obviously, I have been playing my usual COD, but Friday just gone. I called at my lockup just for a couple of hours. I would have stayed longer, but it was absolutely freezing. And I've got this little portable heater, but it does nothing unless you're like sat right in front of it. But yeah, I had a quick one, Bomb Jack, because I'm determined to beat Eddie's high score at some point.
What's the score you're going for? I can't remember what it was.
I think it was about 400 or 1,000 on it or something. In fact, I looked on the high score challenge that we set up. I was actually beating you at the last post that you made. 200, 210 or something. 210,000.
I think I beat it at Arcade Club, didn't we?
Yeah. So I'm determined to try and get good at Bomb Jack. But while I was there, I loaded up Call of Duty World War II on PS4, and had a quick go of that. Played a couple of missions on that. Let's hope we never get to a COD World War III. That won't be a good thing, will it?
Well, for many reasons, no, it won't be. I mean, you have to play COD again, will you? So.
True.
Haddock versus Place, is that what you mean?
Oh God, what sort of jar of champagne Marmite in the cupboard? People, the stuff people have. Oh God,
I can't even picture.
It's actually quite nice. I'm actually enjoying it. It's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing, mate.
That's all you've been doing. Yep.
I do plan in future to load up some Commodore games and play some of them. So
yeah, that'll be good, mate. That'll be good.
Yeah,
you've got quite a few of that. You got certainly some of the. Yeah, also you got some of the more obscure titles, which the collections that you get, like the Alternative and the Americana, and so
Firebird.
Yeah, those are the sort of things which people haven't heard of before. That's why I like doing what I do with the Commodore Core. It's just like so many people came back and said they'd never heard of Desolator, which was. I always thought it was more common than it was, but no, apparently not. No one's ever heard of it.
No, I'd not heard of it. No.
Eddie, to complete the round, anything you can share that you've been playing recently?
Well, last time we was on the old tNb podcast, I was like busy fevering away looking for listings on eBay and all over, and I finally picked up. Well, it's only just come out. Picked up Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. So this is what when I was like just busy, like looking down for about 20 minutes. I was trying to find this at a decent price. But yeah, I've been playing this mostly. This and dog walks and working like 60 hours this week, being a bit nuts. Yeah, it's good. It's a good game. For me, I know Pete's a bit further on, so I'm hoping he'll be able to calm my fears. But I just feel like it's just more of the same at the moment. But I am like still relatively early on. It's a great game, but it just feels like a very extended DLC so far. It's not carved itself out into its own game, which I'm hoping it will.
It's I don't know how to be the bearer of bad news here, but
Like I say, it's still good. I mean, the thing is, the core gameplay is fantastic, isn't it? Really.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, but like with the Tomb Raiders, they all felt like their own game, whereas this just feels like more of the same, and it's just got like a little few. Well, it starts off very different. I thought it was going to become a bit like where you have like a secondary character all the way through, and it was going to be a bit like a Last of Us sort of scenario. I was like, oh god, that's what he's going to be. But then you lose him, and it becomes the game that you were expecting it to be. But yeah, like I did the Poseidon bit just recently. That was fantastic, but again, it still felt very similar.
It is very similar, but and in my opinion, I'm not enjoying it quite as much as the first one. There's little bits like on the first one, it made like a weird sort of glugging noise when you knock bits off them and stuff like that. That's gone, and that just kind of like, I don't know, that was just something that was unique about the game. It's just something that always like struck me as something that stood out. Just little sound effects and stuff like that, and it's just completely gone. But I will say, even though it's a completely stolen mechanic, every open world game from now on needs to have a little gliding parachute thing.
Well,
because I don't know, it just makes everything better when you've not got to try and navigate your way down a cliff. I like climbing up cliffs, but navigating your way down, it's like you've got in Assassin's Creed, you've got little hay bales and stuff, but that's just Assassin's Creed. In other games, you've just got to try and shimmy down the cliff again. You need a parachute. It's fun.
Are you saying that it's copied Breath of the Wild?
Oh yeah,
big time. And the thing is, they don't actually. I don't think they try and hide it either, because I got a parachute because I took a picture of it and sent it to the 52 game challenge group, and I was like, oh my god, could this be any more Breath of the Wild? And like literally 5 minutes later, the next person I spoke to was called Zelda. I was like, I can't make this up. Zelda with a J
coming from Nintendo.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned Zelda though, because I read a thing about the like Horizon Curse the other day about how like when the first game came out, it was literally a week before Breath of the Wild came out. So people kind of played it for a week and then dropped off it to play Breath of the Wild. And then they've kind of like gone, what can we do here to make it like we'll make it more like Breath of the Wild because people stopped playing our game in favor of that. They brought it out 2 weeks later. Elden Ring came out and everyone stopped playing it. So
it's a shame. No, the thing is, like, I can see the comparison with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is like nothing compared to this. They're very similar in like their open world aspects and stuff, except I don't know, Horizon just does it so much better. And the first Horizon as well. I just love that game.
I still disagree. I'm not a huge Zelda fan or Nintendo fan, but I still think Breath of the Wild is nigh on perfect.
Oh. But yeah. But then I played one other game since then, and it was today because of Retro Import Gamer. He's
here tonight. There he is.
Yeah, he said I need to play the Terminator, and I was like, do you know what? I'm getting a bit bored of this, so I thought I'll put it on. Let's put the Terminator on the Mega CD.
Ooh,
this is amazing. This game, it's not amazing. It's just good. Like it's one of them games. It's like the difficulty is just right. It's not too hard. And the soundtrack is flipping immense. Like that is really what makes the game. Like you get
seeing as somebody gifted me a copy recently, I might bang it on.
Definitely, you should. Definitely. Yeah, the soundtrack.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Was it?
No.
It wasn't a backup.
It was Eddie.
Oh, I thought it was the backup, so I was like, no.
It's the American disc of it.
No. So did you get to the end?
No, it flipping crashed on me in the last stage. The bastard. It tried. Look, I did the
machine one,
and I went skip. And I pressed skip because the FMV is a bit. That's the worst bit of the game. It's so grainy. It's just from the film, which at the time would have been amazing. But as soon as I pressed skip, it went, I'm not doing anything now. You should have watched that. If you watched it, you would have had the last level. I'd have treated you to the last level. But no, it was not to be. It just stayed there for about 10 minutes while I was like going, what do I do now? I've been playing it for about 30, 40 minutes. But yeah, no, like the game, like I said, the music is amazing. But the thing is, it's made by a certain person who's trying to make a certain console that's certainly not going to be coming out anytime soon. So he should.
The Amico.
The foot spa.
But you're dancing around it for no reason.
But he does the soundtrack for it, and it's flipping amazing. He should stick to soundtracks.
That's what he did. That was his thing. He was never into video game publishing or anything. He did soundtracks, and then all of a sudden he's bringing a console out.
Yeah, it's obviously a direct line, isn't it? It's what you move into. Yeah. Oh, I'll do music. I'm going to bring a console out. Yeah, they're going to go and build a plane.
Well, it's what Soldier Boy did as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, the Soldier Boy did that.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Like, if you're a music artist, the next logical step is console creation.
Yeah. The Elton John Fun Station.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, I know.
Just about Horizon Forbidden West. Stewart says in terms of story, it's the best sequel he's ever played, probably ever. Mrs. Bear says she's not allowed Marmite. Well, it's because it's too expensive. Not spending money on Marmite. buy other things I could buy. Quite a few people got about the Terminator game, better than the one on the Mega Drive, which is pretty still decent, which is Keith. Joe says the soundtrack in Terminator Mega CD is awesome, and it's a great game as well. Hooded Gamer says the Terminator on Mega Drive is fantastic, great atmosphere, great soundtrack. And the soundtrack was composed by the legend that is Matt Furness.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I'm pretty certain it was Tommy Tallarico, but
well,
maybe it might have been Tommy Tallarico Studios. He might have worked for the studio.
He probably just slapped his name on it. It's like, I did that.
Yeah.
Like he has with Amico.
Yeah.
That's because nobody else wanted to. I'll put my name on that. Yeah. There we go. The CD version is Tallarico. So I think he's talking about the Mega Drive version there.
Mm.
Yes, because Hooded Gamer mentioned the Mega Drive version was fantastic. So Matt Furness did the Mega Drive version, and Tallarico did the CD version. There we go. So we've answered all those questions, which is lovely. Thank you for that, Eddie. Nice to see what you've been doing. Right, so we've got a little bit of time to fill in before our guest arrives, hopefully in about 20 minutes or so. Just David Birdsall says, finished Nino Kuni Generation Pixels recommendation. Yeah, that was on David's last pickups video as well. So he bought that and he forgot Stuart's name in the video, which is a bit of a shame. But he did say that blue-haired bloke from Scotland, which sort of narrows it down between Stuart and Braveheart. So it's one of those two anyway. So we'll just fill a little bit of time for our guest turns up. As we said, this is our 50th episode, and it falls before, but the next episode would fall afterwards. So it's sort of like tying in a 2-year celebration, because we started doing this, and we talked about it beforehand. The 15th of March 2020 was the very first one we did, which was just 8 days before the national lockdown. Do you remember lockdown? Do you remember that? when that virus thing was going around? Yeah. So we started doing it just before that, and it was strange, because when you think back to those times, streams like this weren't really very popular on. No one had heard of StreamYard 2 years ago, and it was really when I think Danes just started doing a lot of streams over the lockdown, which most people remember. That's how it sort of took on. But when we started doing the podcast, we did it slightly differently, as we recorded it during the week using a really crappy audio system. We should go back and actually listen to the first one now. It's awful. I listened to it the other day. Within 30 seconds of us starting, there's just like this horrible droning noise going in the background, like someone's got the washing machine going. We used to get...
It always made me laugh, because it was always NAF Retro 1 has been disconnected.
Yeah. We used to use a program called, called Mumble, which was I think it's a free open source software, because we decided the best way to do this was to do it off camera and audio. Pete, do you remember we had discussion, didn't we? Was it 2019? We were sort of towards the end of 2019. We sort of talked about doing it originally. Can you remember that?
Yeah. I'm heavily into podcasts anyway. I'll spend all my time, while traveling to and from work, listening to podcasts and stuff. So it's like an ambition I've always had to do it. And we just casually mentioned it in the chat, and it kind of just grew from there. I think you've been into the idea of broadcasting as well, haven't you? And
I'm a failed broadcaster. That's exactly what I am. I'm sitting in the body of somebody who should have probably done something else, really. But yeah, I've always been interested in it. So when you mentioned it, I thought, what a great idea that was. You know, and
it's just good for us to all come together as well, because like we've had this group chat. We just started off because we were like just a bunch of YouTubers who started around the same time, or at least started properly around the same time. And other people are sort of like getting into like little groups and doing little collaborations and stuff, and it just seemed like we ought to do something together as a group. So,
and that's what it was really. Just you said people, 6 people coming together who've been connected through the love of gaming, and I think shout outs, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. I think that was how it was all sort of put together, and we just knew each other from all that, and coordinated from there. And because Rob, unfortunately Rob can't be with us tonight, because Rob was very much, still is off camera, doing a audio only podcast suited him so he can get involved as well. I mean, did you guys have any sort of issue, sort of worries about before we started doing this? What would it sound like? Would it be any good? Would it just be a load of people just talking over each other like it was in the old days?
Well, we had chat beforehand, didn't we? I mean, we all kind of chat beforehand, like, of doing this, and some of the conversations we had about games, it was just really kind of like there was a good banter there. There was like different opinions from different like consoles, different ages of games, things like that. Everyone had like a different thing to bring to the table. So, I mean, Sean very much on the 8-bit, Rob on the 360, Pete on his loose games. Oh, that's him. Everyone had their own kind of niche, but no, everyone had their own kind of niche thing with collecting. But we all kind of like, could talk about that and have a bit of banter along with it. Some of the things that we were talking about in our group chat originally were like, well, why don't we just bring this into a podcast and just see where it goes? I think was kind of the original thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I know you had your reservations start with, Sean, didn't you? Because you weren't quite sure about whether it's something you would have a strong enough voice in, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And when I think back to earlier days, I mean, I used to be terrified, of the podcast, because that, I always feared getting lost in the background. I'm very much a one-on-one person, me. I'll chat all day to one person in front of me. You start putting a bit of a group there, kind of sit back, So yeah. Must admit it was quite worrying for me, but after I had a brief absence, didn't I? About midway through, and
you did, and you did, yes, yeah.
And I kept thinking about it, and I thought I'm letting these guys down, and I thought, I'll just get into it, just do it, and since then. I've really enjoyed it. I have, and long may it continue.
I was going to say, because when we started doing the live ones, you said, "Oh, no, I don't really want to do that," and I was sat there on camera. But I mean, it's you no disrespect to the other lads sat there, but you always the first one to say, "I'll be there." Now it's like you're the first one in. You've got your own seat now. Guaranteed you're going to be here. Even on things you've come on and said, "I know nothing about it, but I'll be on."
Yeah. It's in a way, it's my way of getting over that initial fear and just get into it, like I said, and just embrace it. I'm probably the quietest out of us all, but I enjoy it now. I enjoy being here, chatting with lads and that, and
you have the best laugh anyway, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Gordon's here as well. Gordon was on our last episode. Give 84 Pixel Plug as well. Good evening, mate. Nice to see you as well. I mean, what about you, Eddie? I mean, what did you feel before we started doing this? Were you, sort of either way, or really into it, or wondering how it would turn out?
I mean, definitely wondered how it would turn out. I mean, it's nothing that any of us have ever done before, sort of thing. But like Nate said, it was that chat was like non-stop for like the first 6 months at least. and well, he's still not non-stop now, but the first few months, like that was crazy. It was like we'd have like hundreds of messages every hour, just back and forward. So it was like it's not like we had nothing to say to each other. It's just getting used to the format of it all and stuff like that, which I'm still not. I mean, the thing is, I'm probably the furthest away from everyone as a professional YouTuber. I just make videos because I'm trying to not be just getting a rut sort of thing. I kind of like, because I do enjoy like speaking to people, but I know I'm probably the worst at doing it because I probably jump in at the wrong times and stuff like that. So it's kind of like it's getting me used to doing that, because when I'm with other people, I'm usually the noisiest person in the room, good or bad. And when it's like this, you can't be like that. So it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like helped me along the way of sort of learning when to properly jump in and stuff, which I'm still not. I'm shit at that. So.
We've never got used to that, have we? We've never got used to that. Davey Retro Games badly says it's not your fault, Sean. Hard to be heard over that fame-hungry monster, Nath. Liam, good evening, Liam. Hello, everyone. How did it go in court, Eddie?
I've got the damages paid. Don't worry.
I think one of the great things about doing this is, as you've all said, it's we knew each other beforehand simply through the power of YouTube and then WhatsApp, and then we thought, well, why don't we just try and channel this into something like this? And I don't think I think back to that first episode when it went out, and I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. And then I read some of the messages today, and people said, a couple of people said, "Oh, this was the best thing I've heard in ages," and whatever. And it was just great to do it. And we don't profess to be experts on what we talk about. We're not here to give people the definitive answer to the subject. When we discuss a subject, we don't sort of say, this is the benchmark be all, whatever. This is our opinion on it. We're very clear on that. So we don't want people to come across and think, we're preaching from a high point. We're just sharing our enjoyment of certain things that we enjoy with it. And sometimes deciding the subject is an absolute nightmare, because we can sit there for episodes beforehand. And I think it's one of the reasons why we decided to go to, because we did it for every other week for quite some time, and then we did it every other week or every 3 weeks or whenever people were available, because again, we all work different shifts, we all work different patterns, and it's also down to finding a subject that we can all chip in and talk to. I know you said about Sean, I'll come, but I don't know anything about it. I mean, I've sat there on various podcasts listening to Nathan, Eddie, and Pete and Rob talking about stuff that I've got absolutely no interest. I've learned a lot from it, and I suppose at the end of the day, if we educate people about certain things, then that's all good as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I mean, we always said, didn't we, that we want it to be like a group of lads in pub, having a chat and a laugh, and I think that is always come across. I'd like to think so, anyway. Mm-hmm. We do. We have banter and just have a laugh.
We also have alcohol. Yeah.
Talking about the pub, Sean. Where's the Sambuca?
I know, mate.
After all that, you was the one years ago about the Sambuca the most.
We drank it all at Christmas.
Retro Ram says Bears Channing is in a Rick Astley. It's not that old, this jacket. It's not far off it. For Rick Astley's third comeback era, I think that's what it was. Danester's listening on his way back from driving, so it doesn't put you off driving. Pedro's here as well from the VHS Bootleggers. Good evening, Pedro. Yeah. One of the funniest podcast moments I can remember was actually when we weren't recording. Do you remember we watched that video of that bloke riding that pig in that arcade in Japan?
Yeah.
Can anybody remember what that game was called? Because I was trying to remember it. It was what? Pookie Race.
Pookie Race.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I've had a quick go in that game. It's in Arcade Club in Leeds.
Because somebody mentioned it, I think it was during the podcast. We finished recording, and then we all sat there watching the same video on YouTube, and I just like just crying across the internet of just how hilarious this actually looked. You couldn't capture it on an audio recording, which is probably a good thing, but it was just absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I mean, over the course of if we'd carried on doing an episode a week for the past 52 years or so, we'd be on 100 odd episodes. That was, but it's just impossible to do, isn't it? You just can't do it. So.
I mean, I'm always asleep most of the time at this time of night. Honestly,
I think you missed at least 3 episodes because you fell asleep. Trying to raid you together.
I'll have a quick snooze before, and then I'll be refreshed, and then I'm awake at like midnight after that.
3 days later.
Yeah.
You look dashing, Bear. Right. Thank you very much, Pedro. What's Eddie on the? Eddie's got the Uzo going now.
We've got the Uzo because we no Sambuca in Morrison, so I have to go to the next. To be honest, I love this. It's like a holiday drink. It makes me happy.
Strip varnish with it.
And then with a bit of Fanta lemon.
Oh my god.
Oh dear me.
Drink of champions.
Yeah, if you are watching, do share a drink with us tonight because we're having a bit of a celebration. Obviously, the podcast has got its own sort of phrases. I mean, Nath, you always mentioned Pikmin. That got born in the early days. I say Rob always used to mention Gears of War every week to cover what he was saying. But the Pikmin thing, where did the Pikmin thing come from?
The Pikmin thing was just us messing about, I think, because I was always talking about playing the Pikmin games, and I think I brought up one where I think Eddie recommended Little King Story, and I said it's just like Pikmin. I think at the time I played it, and I was like, it's nothing like Pikmin, and everyone just continued to take the piss out of me for that, and then just say everything's like Pikmin, like, oh, have you played Gears of War? It's like Pikmin, or I don't know.
I think I brought up Wonderful 101 as well as a game that's like Pikmin. And then I think after that, it just like blew up because you did that one, I did that one, and it was just like everything's like Pikmin.
Yeah.
Dark Souls is a bit like Pikmin. It's nothing like Pikmin. I think that made the thumbnail in that episode, to be honest.
I think one of the titles of the early episodes was is that like Pikmin? No, it's not, or something. I can't remember, but yeah.
But it's funny because other people kind of get involved in that. When I say Pikmin, it's like, well, finish your drink and things like that.
I've seen it on other
probably
people's
paralytic
comments.
by now.
I've seen it on other people's comments where like they're not even to us, and it's like, is it like Pikmin? It's like
Dave's doing it now.
It's really just like,
it is. It is just like Pikmin.
Is Gears of War like Pikmin? There we go. Gordon says we're looking very, very dapper tonight as well. That's good. I think when we first, I don't think we realised we'd get this far, did we? I think it was we just see how it went and how it goes. And obviously, as I said, it's evolved. We did it weekly, then we did it every other week, then it was whenever we could get available because it was impossible. And at one point, I'm not quite sure, but at one point I felt that perhaps maybe it was getting a bit much for people to commit and do it. So we took a little bit of time out. We did our first live stream. I think was it episode 20 or 25. I can't remember. We did a one-off live stream, didn't we? I think all 6 of us.
Milestone stream, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was it. And then we took that hiatus for about 6 months or so. We came back last year. We came back as a live stream, which is the format we're on now. And then we had the idea of bringing, because it was difficult to get all 6 of us again together to do it, bringing a live guest, not a dead guest. Obviously, dead guest would be a complete waste of time. That had to be live, wouldn't they? But bring in a guest and have them on. And I think that's given it a little bit of a lease of life, and it's been nice to have people on to do it. So we had Gordon in the last episode. Stuart Generation Pixel's been on. Retro Chef's been on. Who else have you had in the past? Trying to remember. Martin, the Geek Master, as he's called now. James, Games Own Bird Room as well. And we're always open to the idea of having guests on. I mean, I think that the guest idea works really well because although people know what we want to talk about, bringing on a guest and they choose a subject, that's the idea about it. So I think from where we started to where we are now, it's evolved quite a bit, and I hope it's acted as a way of inspiration for other people to look at something like this and not be scared of coming on. I know the first thing people say when they want to come, we ask them to come on here is, oh, well, I'm not sure I can talk a great deal about, which is why we asked them to pick a subject and come on and do that. When we first started doing it, it's like, I know we want to keep it very much to us, but I think the guests have given us a bit of a shot in the arm, really, haven't they?
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, how I feel like this, I would enjoy doing this even if this wasn't on YouTube, if it was just all of us just chatting together. And that's what I like.
I was going to say the same thing. I would do this if it was just us.
But what's good about this, because obviously StreamYard, you can only have 6 of you. What's good is it adds the extra people in on the chat, and they're the ones that really put the extra spice into this as well. Like the bits that they like come out with and we react to, and you can't have that just as a normal StreamYard chat. So yeah, I think it's just that perfect combination of everything together.
I agree. I think, you know, people in the comments have been absolutely fantastic to get involved with this. I mean, when we first started doing it, you looked at them. I used to premiere the video, so you'd have people in the chat. We'd have maybe 10, 15 people as the podcast played reacting to the comments. But now we're getting more people getting involved, and we're getting new people coming in the comments each week, which is great as well. And I think it's worked really well. I think it has. I enjoy doing it, and it's great that so many people get involved with it.
It's good for me as well having guests on, because I'm not very good at being a social creature, so it's nice that, because I don't talk to a lot of people outside of it, and it's nice to get that couple of hours just to chat to someone I wouldn't normally chat to. It's like talking to, when we had Games on Bird Room on James. That was the first time I'd ever spoke to him. And, turns out he's a really good guy. So it's nice to just have that option to talk to people I don't normally talk to as well.
Yeah, that's true.
To be fair, most of YouTube are pretty cool. I mean, I don't think there's not many bad eggs in the YouTube sphere. Or if they do, they probably keep themselves to themselves anyway.
Or they're already in the tNb.
Oh, we're already in the
Raccoon boys.
Yeah, we've had Alan.
They're the bad eggs.
Alan as well. He came on with a couple of weeks. We talked about Doncaster. That was great to have Alan there. I can't believe Retro Claire's not a mod. I can't either, but that's because I haven't got around to sorting it out yet. But I will do. I'll do it earlier. Gordon, very happy to. Gordon was on our last episode. Very happy to have come on, and we're all very welcoming, and we'd have you back again, Gordon. That's absolutely no problem at all. Why has no one changed the Gremlins poster to Kremlins? What Gremlins poster?
I thought I figured something out then.
Yeah, there we go. A-Bit Rate says, I agree, Pete, and it's a nice way of socialising without socialising. It makes sense.
But that's kind of why we did it, isn't it? That's why we kind of invited other people on to give other people's kind of opinions. And I mean, YouTube's been a learning experience for like me as much as anything else. And learning about games, discussing other people's opinions on games and consoles is kind of why I was here in the first place. So yeah, it makes sense to kind of other people to kind of get involved, and that's kind of what keeps us going, I suppose, a bit.
I mean, I agree, and I always, that's why we don't aim for big YouTube. We could have gone down the route some other channels. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not criticising other people who do podcasts and things like that for going after big YouTubers, but we're more interested in the sort of thing that we do. We're at the small end of YouTube. There's no denying that, and we're quite happy here. We quite like it, but we like other people who are very much of the similar ilk, who have that same following, to come on and do that as well. And we encourage that. I mean, I would say, as Rach says there, I would love to get Rach and Joe on one night and have them talk about their gaming experiences. That would be fantastic to do that. Dane says, when are we getting the big books into paying? Well, I've got a collection jar in. It's empty at the moment. So I have to stop coming down your shop and spending money. That's where it goes. Rob says Gears of War. There we go. So we'll take a drink. We'll take a drink. There we go. Everybody take a drink. Rob said Gears of War. There we go, Rob. If you can't see that, we've all had a drink. You can't hear us anyway. There we go. Ian says, having big YouTubers on your show doesn't do much for your channel in terms of growth.
See, that's nothing that I've ever been interested in. That's why I've been more interested in having the smaller YouTubers in, because to me, I would rather not reap the benefits ourselves, but try and push what we've got onto other people. And say if we can get, I mean, I know I'm not particularly big anyway, but say like, you know, Retro Bear, you're on like 700 and odd and stuff like that. If we can take somebody who's on like a... if we can take somebody who's on like 100 or less subs, bring them on here, give them a little bit of exposure and push them higher from people who watch us but might not watch them, that is a lot more important to me than pushing my own channel and growth with that. Because to be honest, the more people watch my channel, the more anxious I get. So everyone should just unsub for it.
No, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I'm probably the biggest vocalist of like hating all this like sort of pushing channels and stuff like that for becoming like bigger sake, not because of anything else. And like you say, Pete, like I would rather have someone smaller come on and join the discussion that's in here and then outside of there, where people can start finding out what they're like, and then they can like join in and talk that way. Whereas if you have a big tuber in, it's going to be all about them. And this podcast is never about that. It's all about what the discussion is. And I think if you brought a bigger tuber in, it would just completely ruin the dynamic of what's going on. You can't have in jokes, you can't do that, this, that, and the other. And it's like I just don't think it would work.
No. Ian says they had a 95%, but I get percent from. Sorry, I'm back at work. 95,000 YouTuber on Fault Guys and absolutely nothing for them. And Al's very honest and says he has on his channel every week and he loses subscribers. So, I think he lost one last night as well. We played off Friday night. I think he lost one on Friday. So
I'm gonna go out on a limb there and say I don't think Bear's the problem there.
Pedro says I agree. Big tubers suck on the whole. Rate says much as I'm buzzing if I get a new sub, I do love the fact I'm small enough to reply to every comment, and I think that's very important. I always say that as well. If you have comments, is to respond to them. If you are a small YouTuber and you get 40 or 50, 30 to 50 comments or 20 to 50 comments or whatever, you've got time to respond to them all and give everybody a personal response rather than say, hey, thanks for watching, or any. Yeah. That's it. But it's one of those. But I mean, we didn't stop. The reason this stays on YouTube and it stays between us is that's how we wanted it to be. We didn't want to sort of aim for we're going to push this on every single podcast format that we could do. And I know we sort of discussed that at the time, but we were very, no, we'll just keep it like this. It's developed its own following, and we're very happy with that, aren't we? I mean, it's as Pete said, if he gets too big, he gets too big, and that's what we didn't want. We just wanted to give something to people could watch and listen to, and that's the great thing about it. People listen to it as well, even though we've got the video format, which is why I have to keep reading things out, because a lot of people still listen to it. So
the irony is not even a podcast.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah. Well, it is as such, isn't it? I mean, it is.
They've evolved now. I mean, I've watched a few podcasts, and they're all like this nowadays. They do it visually like this, and then they put it on a podcast stream. But to be honest, I mean, I've when I've done big drives, I've always put if I've not been on this, I'll put this on, or other longer sort of podcasts, or
Desert Island games.
Hey,
Desert Island games.
Yeah,
there's definitely desert. I mean that.
That's how I'm
glad I had a period of time where I was traveling every weekend, because I wouldn't have been able to catch up with any of them, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, because it was quite long, but there was
a big undertaking, isn't it?
Now at the same time.
Oh, Desert Island Games is a completely different beast. It's a hell of a thing to do. So I'm starting again very, very shortly as well. So I'll talk about that another time. But Gordon says again, I think capturing the ethos of this year. I've met people that I never thought I'd met and happy to be there. So in that respect, he's over the moon with his growth, and I think that's right. David, of course, David's over 1,000 now, and he says, "Does that mean you don't want me after all?" Yes, we do. He's still want you to come on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, he is. He's the 1,000-year-old man. That's it. Pedro says, now wrong with growing it though, as long as you don't change the vibe. And we've kept the vibe exactly the same thing we said a few minutes ago. That mates down the pub talking around and having a joke and sharing it between it. Yeah, we all want to see you drunk, Dave. That would be a good idea. I'm pretty. Go on, sorry,
just to talk about what Pedro just mentioned there. Like, that's it. I mean, I think the best thing is grow with your subscribers, grow with everyone, just like have it as a community. But the problem is when people start just trying to grow just for a number's sake, and that's what's frustrating. And that's why the bigger tubers tend to bring back into this. Whereas, like, Dave is, I think he probably chats at all 1,000 subscribers he's got. So it's a totally different beast, isn't it? So
yeah, that's it. Liam says he loved doing Desert Island games. Yeah, we could have gone. We could have gone for. Certainly, people could have gone for like 6 hours with, but we're all.
I was the same with that.
Lives and things to get up for, and again, but yeah, that Desert Island games. I mean, so many people say to me, "Oh yeah, I'll come on," but it's gonna be like the shortest episode ever, and they all do 3 hours. And it's like on here because when we first started, I think the first episode we did was about an hour and 3/4. And I said I want to try and keep it under 2 hours, and we usually do. But there are some times where I think we can go on and on and on, and it just happens sometimes.
There's many times we've said we could revisit a certain subject,
Yeah.
I don't think we have, but
no, I
there's
don't think
certainly
so.
that possibility.
Scott Sager Zombies here. Good to see you. Congratulations on 50
Scott.
streams. Thank you very much
Thank you.
indeed, Scott. It's appreciated. Our special guest has just arrived. I can see the top of his head. So we'll come to him in a second.
Top of his head.
Yeah, I just saw his forehead. That was all I could see. That was there. God knows what he's doing. I'll just keep going while we wait for the setup. James says, "Love Desert Island games. It'll be great to get back to the island."
Getting quite
Stuart
full
says
now.
that one.
It's colonised, isn't it?
Oh, they're still on there. I haven't let them off yet. Will you do a simmer thing to DIG so we can all come back on? Yeah, I think I probably would do. Best thing about this podcast, says Susie, is there's no agenda. It's just mates chatting and having fun, and that's what we wanted to do at the start,
yeah.
and that's how
She also likes
done.
the fact that she gets to have a quiet evening to herself while I'm appearing.
Yeah, more podcasts.
More podcasts, Pete. Yeah, get more people.
Are you sure you don't want to do one tonight, Pete?
Diane says I've not stumped up to get him on DIG. Yeah, not a bargain bin tuber. I'll have you on. I'll get you on. I will do. Ian says, "Love my time on the island. Had to go and sell a bike during my chat with Betty." Yeah, that was another interesting one as well. Yeah, he actually popped out. He had to go and sell a bike halfway through it. I'll tell you a story very quickly before I bring on guests in, and I wanted to keep it going rather than have to stop it and start it again because that's always a bit of a pain in the arse on StreamYard. So I was just talking to myself for about 10 minutes, and then I realised that he was actually going to be longer than that, so I had to stop talking to myself. And there was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that got cut out. There was like me talking, doing an Irish accent, and trying to do an impression of Ian, and the guy selling the bike having a conversation, and it just all got pinned. So.
We need an uncut version of that, I think.
I wish I had. I still have it somewhere. I'm pretty sure I've still got that. I do get the uncut
Just
recording.
post the interval. Just post the cut bits.
Please, just
The
for the
bloopers.
50th, do an Irish accent for
you're
us.
going to buy a bike then, mate. Yeah, I'm going to buy a bike. Yeah, how much?
I still maintain though that Desert Island Games is the best thing I've ever done on YouTube. It was not only was it a fun chat with a mate, it was catharsis, and it was exactly what I set out to do when I set up my channel. Is I just wanted to talk about games, and I got to sit there for 3 hours. And I said before, I wasn't talking to you; I was talking at you. You were just gracious enough to just sit there and let me waffle. So,
well, that's I always say that. I mean, again, Pedro says love his time, but I mean, it was. I mean, so many people said so many nice things about it. It is an extension of this because we get to know people on this. I got to know all you through this a lot better, and even doing the Desert Island games. I haven't done you yet, Nath. That's what I definitely want to get sorted out because you're the last one who hasn't done it. But to do that, I knew more. I got more out of that with you guys than out of the number of podcasts we'd done beforehand. And it's the same with everybody else. Everybody else who's been on the Desert Island, or 27 of them so far, myself included. And I found a few things out about myself as well, which is quite strange.
We did do one on the podcast, though, didn't we?
We trialled it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did it across 2 episodes, I think. We trolled it.
Yeah,
and that's where the idea came from.
Yeah.
And that's when I had the idea of speaking to Griffo, because Griffo was the first one on there, and asked me to do that. So, it's very much an extension of this. We have people on here, and I've had people on here to do the podcast. I've had people then come on the desert island all the way around as well. So it's fascinating. Right, I won't keep my guest waiting any longer because he's only got a little bit limited time to come on. Very, very quickly, Keith says that's what he loves about this podcast, very relaxed. Nate says, Desert Island Games uncut or Desert Island Games too hot for YouTube. That'll be a good idea.
I've been on.
Rach says she forgot she was recording while playing Rolling in the Caves and started muttering to myself. I uploaded that video before realising and had to delete it. As the Mock Turtle says, can we dig it? And Stuart said, anytime I get to talk about Rockstar at my hamster is a good time. Desert Island Games made that happen. Yep, and that's what I loved about doing it, because sometimes, as Stuart says, you sometimes things just come out. You forget about things, and all of a sudden you start telling a story. It all comes back to you when it comes out on there. Right, let's welcome our guest in for the evening, who decided to join us for our festivities. When Rob said he couldn't make it, he said, "I'll see if we can get our guest, this chap, on." And I'm very pleased. He's a recurring guest. It's about the 3rd time he's been back on now, and I know it's very, very short notice for him to come on tonight, but he's very, very graciously agreed to be here. So please, all welcome to the stream tonight. It is Martin, the Geek Master tonight, known as the Duck Master.
I am the Duck Master.
Yeah.
Thank you all. I actually have my own special reveal as well.
Oh, we can't do that, mate. Not now.
Hang on. Where's the camera going? It's world exclusive.
I don't care. You can call it what you want. I don't care.
Okay. So,
hang on, the camera's going
time,
what's going
live on air. It's Manda.
Hey, there we go. Hi, Amanda. Nice to have you on.
Congrats on your engagement.
Yep.
Yes, congratulations on the engagement. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
That was brilliant. So it's the first time you've been on camera on YouTube, is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or Twitter or anywhere.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, brilliant. There we go.
It really
tNb
is a world
exclusive.
Yeah.
So this has become a real special now.
It has.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting that at all. That was completely unplanned.
There you go. We're full of surprises.
Yep.
It's brilliant. Thank you so much. And nice cleared off. Where's he gone? Oh, he's back with it. Yeah.
Scared of off.
I know he said he might have to duck out for a bit anyway. David's going. David, thanks very much for calling in, mate. We'll have a conversation about that and try and get you on here on the next episode to talk to. But anyway, how are you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. So I've currently got a couple of weeks off. But obviously when Amanda's here, I'm doing whatever with her, and I don't have much room at the minute, which is why I'm holding the camera a bit weirdly as well. But yeah, been good, thanks. Before time off, busy with work, but make sure to get time in to play some good games and all that. Or I think they're good anyway.
Lots of congratulations coming in, 8-Bit Rach. Mrs. Bear says hi, Amanda. Ian says get a drink. Congratulations, Retro Ram Liam. Keith, James, and Pixel Plug. Lots of congratulations there, mate. So YouTube out in force tonight. Wishing you all the very best, and thank you once again for coming on. Rob was obviously very apologetic, but he did say see if we can get you to come on. He'd very much like you to sit in tonight for him to represent him. So it's nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me again.
That's all right. So you've been playing games. Very, very quickly, anything you could recommend for us while you're here?
Played one a few people know about, which is the Pokemon Legends Arceus. Spent way too much time on that. I think I'd played like 50 hours within like the first couple of weeks. What else? I know not as popular, but I've been playing Vice City on the Definitive Edition. And yeah, it's glitchy and that, but some of the glitches are just stupid, to be honest. I had a massive NPC pile up and cars just exploding everywhere. So I don't know what happened there. I just went around the corner and they were blowing up in front of me.
Well, this is it. I actually like a good glitch. A good glitch can make the game in some ways.
Oh yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Movies, isn't it? It's like if you know it's coming, like more to it. Like let's get some more glitches on the go.
You can't play a Bethesda game. Yeah, you can't play a Bethesda game without glitches. It's part of the game.
I was just watching this pot just sail across the floor, like around the room. I tried to record it. It just like about 30 seconds was just moving on the floor. I'm like, I'm going to record this, and it stopped. The bastard.
When Susie was playing Skyrim for the first time, there was one guy, and he was like on the way to somewhere, and he just like he kind of like morphed down into the ground, so there was only his torso stuck out. But the game was trying to correct itself because he was just stuck there forever, and every time he went to this town, he was just outside the town. But the game kept trying to correct itself, so it kept spawning more of him. But they were just kind of stood still on the path. So after a while, there was like him, like torso boy in the ground, and then like 7 or 8 of him just stood around, just milling about as well.
Instead of loads of heads just in the ground, just looking up at you.
I was playing. What's it called? What's it? Oh God. Trying to Days Gone. That's it. It's just I was playing Days Gone and I got really late into the game and it started glitching where like if you dropped a weapon, it just start bouncing along the along the floor. And I was like, this is weird. And then all of a sudden, like all the text, like after that, like a firefight, all the textures just started like dropping off. So it was just little models like everywhere. It was weird, and I was like, "I'm taking pictures of this. This is a and it was like, I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, that's ruined the game for me. Totally immersed, demersed or whatever." And I'm like, "No, that just made it for me a little bit."
Ian says any WWE game is glitch guaranteed, and Keith says Driver 3 on the PlayStation 2 is such a glitchy mess that I love it, despite the bad rep that it got, which goes back to what Eddie was saying there. So
The Sims as well.
I do agree though. Like some of the glitches, they just like make the game like you're like, what the hell is going on? But it makes you laugh and makes you want to play it more, see what other stupid things there are going on.
Exactly. I mean, that's it. Games are supposed to be escapism. So if everything was too realistic, you'd be like, yeah, it's just another day at the flipping office, isn't it? But if like things just started going like faces melting off, it's like, yeah, that's amazing.
Game is that?
That was I've seen. I mean, I've never played the game.
Hello Kitty,
like Fallout New Vegas. Like the face started.
But that was about a nuclear nuclear war, wasn't it? Wasn't that?
Assassin's Creed Unity as well. On Assassin's Creed Unity, everyone's heads disappeared and they were just like wigs and then eyes on stoves. But yeah, on The Sims, there's galleries online about The Sims glitches. And there's like one where there's a guy sat in a hot tub and he's obviously supposed to be sat next to a woman and he's supposed to have his arms around her, but she's on the other side of the hot tub. So his arms are like stretched out like to the side.
Stretch arms.
And he's like, yeah, and he's got this kind of like alluring expression on his face and that. And on the caption of the picture says that like the eyes say "come hither," but the arms say "emergency room."
Oh dear! It says nothing better than fighting Hulk Hogan with no skin on his face. Well, he's getting on a bit now. I think if he grabbed hold of it a bit too hard, it'd probably come off anyway. So, is this the 3rd or 4th time we've had you on, Martin? I can't remember now.
4th, I think.
4th. I know.
I think I came on twice quickly in December, and I came on once before that.
Have you? That's just been 4th time.
Yeah, I think it's the 4th.
Oh right, okay. Well, Gordon says one of the first glitches I had was in Witcher 3, and Geralt swam off the horse. Raz is here as well. Good evening, Raz. Never seen a vid with more like. There we go.
Cheers, Raz.
Mate, you all right?
I think. he likes to mention how much I say and like this and like that. I'm telling my inner like valley girl. That's what it is.
It's fine. We all do it. I say certain things. Mrs. Bear said, "Do we keep saying this all the time?" And I go, "I've always said it. If you go back and watch my videos, I've always said all the way through." So it's one of those. Al's on his way out. Al, thanks for coming in, mate. Nice to see you. Take care. There you go. Keith says I had this glitch as well. Gib Gaming, and I was in absolute stitches. That's the horse thing. When we first started doing these, Martin, you were a very, very big supporter of the tNb and the podcast and things. You always used to put the hashtags in your video and what have you. So I mean, I'm not saying you're a super fan or anything like that, because we haven't got super fans. But I mean, what is it you enjoy about this? And when we asked you to come on as a guest that first time, and you obviously agreed to do so. I mean, what do you enjoy about what we do so much?
I think part of it is the community element of it, because it is good seeing like a bunch of people in one place discussing several topics. It's like, and because you get like the different topics as well, it's like you hear all sorts of different opinions about all sorts of different things, and I think it allows that. So like, it might be a topic more about, we did Master System, for example.
Yes, we did it, Chris.
So you get specialist bits on that, but you can also get opinions from people who don't know much about it. But I think another thing about it is, like, I think because I've got to know you a lot, and even then I think I got to know you, watch your channels a fair bit before it, or when it pretty much started. It's like I was intrigued to see, like, partly more content reviews, but also to find out your own personal takes on things. It's like good seeing like the pickups, for example, but to find out your thoughts on a specific thing.
Yeah.
I think that was a lot of it. And also, I think I thought it was a very positive thing, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like to think that as well. I mean, we're always very, very keen to do these, and that's why we had to change the structure a little bit over the years, but we've always wanted to maintain that and give people somewhere where they can come to and have a good laugh and a bit of a listen, and hopefully learn something, and all discover a few bits and pieces going on at the same time as well. And I think that's one of the great idea to have people on as well, like yourself, is to get your opinions, because we've got our thoughts and whatever, but it's bringing somebody else in from that. And were you the first guest we had on? I'm pretty sure you were, weren't you?
I think I was, yeah.
Yeah, you were the first one. I think it was very much a unanimous decision, because we know how much you supported us early on, and it was I think it was very much a no-brainer, really. As the first guest we're going to have on, it's going to be yourself. So it was.
Yeah, I think what happened is, like, there was only, I think a lot of us couldn't do one weekend. All of us said Martin would be a great film. Like, there wasn't like just one of us. It was all of us who said it.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was like
the Sixth Spice Girl, isn't he? Really?
I'm Fat Spice.
For me, it was like when we first came up with the tNb, and we first started sort of inserting it into his videos in like a sort of almost viral kind of way. When people had asked what it meant, I always just said it didn't mean anything. It just meant, everybody. It meant inclusivity and stuff, because you get other groups that have come up, like, without mentioning any names, in everything, you get groups pop up and they become very sort of exclusive and not including people and stuff like that, and doing their own thing and hold themselves in higher regard than other people. And one of the things I always wanted from this group was that it meant everybody. If you're not a dickhead, then you're tNb. And I think it was cool, really, that Martin sort of started using the hashtag and stuff like that, and despite not being in the group chat, started using the hashtag and flying the flag for us and stuff like that, and embodying that kind of feeling of everyone being included and stuff. I thought that was really cool, and that's, to me, that's why essentially there's like a couple like Martin and Griffo and stuff who sort of got on board with that kind of theory and stuff like that, and I don't know, that was always just a really cool thing to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was. We don't pride ourselves on being a group. It's just six of us who have a WhatsApp group. We just talk between us, and we just thought we'll just have an extension of that and do that and put it out there, and people have got behind it. So
it was literally like we all started YouTube. Well, I know, Bear, you started yours a long time before, but I think you really started focusing on it the same time as when we all started. And it was like that, because of that, we all knew that, and we always let's start talking together and stuff like that. So it was like, that was quite cool. And the fact that like other people are starting doing it afterwards as well, it's like, it would be kind of cool to join us all together, but there's so many groups out there now. It's just nice that we have our little thing, and we have the fact that everyone else is like inclusive, really, but just through the chats right now.
Yeah.
And Dana, you are Mr. Community. If it wasn't for you,
yeah. I was going to say, he held the community together.
Lockdown, he pretty much got the community together and like really solidified that. So shut up about Mr. Community.
Yeah, can you tell, Denny?
Susie says it's another time that we found out that tNb means the nudie boys.
All from the waist down.
Yeah.
Just from the waist down. Keep it smart, casual.
But I'll be back in a sec. I'm just going to try and sort out my camera because my arm's dying.
Oh, okay, mate. Yeah. No worries.
I know that feeling. I don't know about you guys, but like, if you ever have a phone call for like a long time, I'm like, my arm.
Oh yeah.
I can't do it. It's that weird, like. That's what
you know, there's an after watershed joke here, but I can't make it.
And it's strengthened my arm, yeah.
He could have muted. He's going to start soaring in a minute. So.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's going to be some kind of hammering and sawing in the background.
Well, actually, talking about after watershed, talking about after watershed, you know, sometimes like after we've done this, we'll be chatting for another hour sometimes, and it's like we should have recorded some of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We should have recorded this because like sometimes
tNb after dark.
We do, I don't know. Even though we are quite casual and stuff like that, I don't know, maybe we overthink things a little bit because other people are listening. But when no one's listening, it's like we kind of like rip a little bit more. And it's like realistically, that would be great, like really good listening. Some of the stuff that we've had in the past.
That's it. Ross is here as well. Hi mate, nice to see you. Oh yeah, that's. Do you remember we used to do the old audio ones? We used to have get together beforehand and have a chat, didn't we? And in some cases, as Eddie said, there not stuff much after. Sometimes before that, we'd like talk for about 35-40 minutes, and all that stuff just disappeared. He went completely out of it. And I thought we should have started recording by now.
It's weird to repeat the same stuff that we've already said as well, because it just doesn't come as natural across. No. Because we're not broadcasters. We can't do like, oh, let's do a practice here and then redo it all again. Like, no, it's what we say is what we say.
That's right, and the spontaneity sometimes is better. When we recorded all those audio episodes, we didn't edit them. That was what was recorded, and what went on beforehand and afterwards got lost. And it's the same here as well. You know, it's a bit of fun. What was he doing?
He's back.
There we go. He's back.
I'm forgetting that now.
No, it's been a little bit quiet as well, so I've been trying to see if I can sort out the volume.
Well, I'm gonna hang on. If I just do this, give me 1 second, because we spoke about this briefly, Martin, and I just want to do a little bit special for you because I know we're here and we've spoken very eloquently about you. So I'm just going to do this. Hang on a second.
Thanks.
There we go. we would like very much. There we go. There we go. We'd very much like to induct you into the tNb Hall of Fame and be our very first member.
Thank you. I'm honoured.
And a round of applause there for everybody, for Martin to be our first live stream guest and popping up quite a bit. And I think it's fair to say, mate, we all think a lot of you. So
thank you.
And you know, that's our way of saying thanks for all your support. Thank you very much for saying what you said over the last couple of years and agreeing to come onto these things at incredibly short notice or whatever. What time was it last night? I messaged you at 9 o'clock.
About 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah.
3 in the morning.
3 in the morning. It wasn't far. Because not long after I messaged him, I went to bed early last night, and then he sort of messaged me that said, I'll let you know as soon as possible. And I didn't get back to him until like 9 o'clock this morning. Does Martin get a ring? The budget doesn't strengthen. I'll send you this, Martin.
Thank you.
You can fashion that into a ring.
Sean can make one from Haribo.
Yeah. Does he know the special handshake yet? Yeah, we'll have to
call tell him, wouldn't
it? Which one?
One exists.
But no, we just want to do something special for you, and thank you again for all your great support and being a good mate as well. Because I know we've spoken many times about trying to do something between the two of us for years. We never got around to doing it. So I'm glad we've had these opportunities to do something like this. Anyway,
I appreciate it all.
That's good. That's good. Right. Well, as we're all here, I just say we obviously try and take it around to a couple of hours. If anybody's got any questions for us while we're sat here, please do pop them into the chat now. We'll try and get through as many as we can as quickly as we can.
I've got a question for viewers.
Oh, have you got a question for the viewers? Okay. That's an interesting
give them an
one.
opportunity to get involved a bit more. You know, what would they like to see in future episodes? Is there anything we can do a little bit differently? Is there anything you think can be improved? Let us know. See what.
I think what people would like to see is probably a blank screen and just our voices. Because, we do, as somebody said, we do look like an aging boy band who got back together, just reminiscing on the good
Position
times.
improvement.
Susie says, "Did I miss anything good? I'll just make a cup of tea." Oh dear. Well, if you were
back, I guess.
Yeah, if you were, you've missed this. There we go.
How many have you got?
The box full.
Been down Poundland, they'll be going for hours.
Yeah.
If only we knew, we could have all had like a party popper each.
Just think, everyone.
Honestly, that was
we'll make him do it. The more he's got to tidy up.
What can I party pop? Nothing.
I've got bits of shit everywhere now. That's on fire. put that out. That'd be interesting to know. What would people like to see if there was an improvement or not? I don't know. Could we improve it? I thought we were bloody good as we were. No expense spared. Yeah, that's
But, so how about this? I've got while everyone's thinking about stuff. How about the wags of tNb? I think we should have the wags of team. Like the thing. I think me and Gurney. I don't think Gurney's just got a girlfriend recently. We've not got one, but obviously the Duckmaster definitely does.
Yeah.
So there's I think that's quite a good podcast. There's like 5 of you now, the wives and girlfriends of tNb. That'll be an amazing episode, I think. Just let them have free reign. They can make their own conversation, whatever it is. We won't have anything to do with it. They'll just talk about what they want. About
nice.
how good, how bad we are.
As much as she can.
I'm up for it.
Nath looks as worried as I do. And having heard Lorraine on one of our Four Guys chats live streams, I'm not sure. Dane says a complete new lineup with the Gebs, Alan, Top Hat Gaming. Yeah, I'm not sure what you call that. We have a question. Question to Sean. tNb shoutouts would be cool. Any new channels that you guys have found? Well, I've got a video going up next week with a few, which is part of my ongoing YouTube shoutout thing. So I won't spoil that for anybody. Anybody got channels they want to mention quickly?
I'll give Amanda a shout out if that's all right.
You may.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Retro Crazy Gaming, Crazy with a K. There's not much on it at the minute, but I'm hoping that Amanda will start having more videos soon. So she hasn't been able to do it when she's been at mine, to be honest.
Put it in the chat, mine.
What's that?
Chat.
You put it at the top of the chat mode. Yeah.
Okay, will do.
Yeah.
Thanks.
She said thanks.
Also,
Weird.
Hang on, I'll put in the link. One sec.
I can back that one up as well because I think I was either the 2nd or 3rd subscriber to that channel. So,
oh yeah,
100% make more content.
Yeah, I think I watched her like shelf tour that she did as well. It was quite good.
Mm-hmm.
One sec.
Yeah, I've got one. I don't know if you've heard of this one before, but they're called the Gebs 24. She really could do with a few more subs. So if anyone could sub,
was that the guy we had on last week?
Yes, I mean, great channel. Everyone's gonna love that. I mean, the thing is, can't deny, great Doncaster coverage.
Update on the Lady Loft.
Yeah, she's stolen your gimmick there, Pete.
I know she has. Well, it just makes a change, doesn't it? It's stealing things from the community and not giving any credit, doesn't it? It's something that Gebs never does.
Well, we got it. More liquor reviews, please.
Well, she taught me. She taught how we. Bit of Uzo power.
What you got there, Sean? Is that Ghost Ship?
Ghost
Is it?
Ship, yeah, Adnam's Ghost Ship.
Adnam's Ghost Ship, yeah.
I never used to be into IPAs, but it's Al that's got me into them.
The old J Tiki Fire 75% rum. That was it was.
Is it
nice? It's gone. It was nice. It was hot. It was very hot. I felt the only
full bottle of it. When you sent it, it was a big bottle.
I've been sitting on that miniature. I've been sitting on that miniature since the Christmas before last, and I've been terrified of drinking it. But I figured the only way really to drink that was from a Doom labelled shot glass shaped like a shotgun shell.
Oh man, that's amazing! I need one of them in my life, or at least 6 of them.
I got these from Loot Crate when I used to get Loot Crate back in the day. Awesome. But yeah, it was nice actually, that rum. It was very, very warm, but it was nice.
Okay. Eddie, would you turn your Uzo into a Molotov that'll work? Would you waste it like that?
Once I've drank it first, please.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. All right.
Pedro said, would we ever touch non-gaming topics?
I can't hear anyone. My sound's gone.
I'm gonna take the Hall of Fame back. He was not.
It's not too late.
He's gone now. There we go. Would we ever touch on non-gaming topics? I don't know about that one because.
Do you know what? I would love a music talk because every Friday, no one probably knows this, but every Friday we do a little random like music thing that we have. It's called Fridays, where we'll just have just a random song every Friday that we just do in the tNb group. And it's like we all have like such different tastes, and it's like I think we all have a taste. That's the thing, and it's like it'll be a good, maybe possible talk that we could do.
I'm up for that, definitely. I keep forgetting to do it. I was going to put Sublime on this week, but I completely forgot.
Well, that's it. I mean, no one else knows what we do, but like maybe if everyone's up for it, I mean, I wouldn't mind talking about music. I've got CDs, I've got vinyls. Yeah, I've got experiences. Like I used to be a big music fan back in the day. Still am.
It might not hurt to do the occasional different episode where we just talk about a different sort of random subject.
We always said we were going to talk about video game movies on one of these subjects, and we never actually got around to it as well.
We've not done that yet.
Oh, we did that, didn't we?
Not what I was about.
Yeah, I mean, I've missed quite a few, so I don't know if it was one that I missed. You see, so yeah, that would be quite a good one.
I could even maybe perhaps I imagined that. I don't know. What game disappointed you the most? Mine was paying full price for Renegade 3's as Pixel Plug. Disappointing games, one each very, very quickly, if you can think of one.
Shenmue 3 for me.
Shenmue
what? 3. Is it because they actually said the word Shenmue in it and it wasn't spelled? It wasn't pronounced?
That's another tNb one. Get your drinks in.
Yeah. Bloody hell! Right.
Oh dear, I can't think.
One for me. Dark Cloud on the PlayStation 2. I thought it was awful.
Hey, what name?
Dark Cloud on PlayStation 2. I thought it was supposed to be quite like PlayStation 2's answer to Zelda. I fucking hated it.
Weird.
Yeah, I hated
it. I nearly said that.
Really?
I hated that,
yeah, no, I was thinking that because
it was like build a village and you had to rotate the fucking houses and you had to get the houses from a dungeon and then build a village. Like it's just so random. I just really didn't like it. Yeah, one of the only games I sold back in the day, and now it's marginally popular. So.
I mean, I had no expectations going into that one, but I hated it. I really hated it. But...
Yeah. No, like I heard so many good things about that game. Like, and I only got it while collecting, and it was like I love that kind of genre of like RPG, action RPG. I love it.
Yeah.
But the action RPG was so like unresponsive, and not only that, but like it had world building. It was like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah,
it was like
that's what killed it for me.
It's quite an early game on the PS2, wasn't it? I think I played it virtually not long after it came out, and I thought it looked beautiful, but I just hated the game. Absolutely hated everything about it apart from that.
I think For me, I'd maybe go, surprisingly, some people maybe, saying like Bioshock. I tried it, I just couldn't get into it.
Oh, no, I love that. That's kind of what got me into more modern gaming. Like, I played Bioshock 2 first, and I was like, yeah, this is amazing. Like, I hadn't had... That was like one of my first 360 games that I really put some time in and actually completed. And it was like before that, I was like playing a lot more retro-y sort of stuff. And I was like, yeah, no, that was cemented it for me. It was brilliant.
How far did you get into it, Martin? Did you actually play it to completion?
Not completion, but I put quite a few hours into it. It was a while ago I played it, but can't remember how far I got. No, but I was just there for a good few hours and just couldn't get with it. So I think I just gave up after that.
No, that's fair. It was. I really like that one. I was surprised at that, but that's what we're here for, isn't it?
Well, so if it's games we hate, I'd have gone Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door, but then Mandel would have slapped me probably.
We need to see a hand just come and slap you. No, with Bioshock, it's the games that I super enjoy playing when I was playing them. But they're like one and done games for me. I've never actually, I've played all three of them to completion, never gone back, and probably never will. But I did really love all of them when I played them. I'm probably going to say, an answer to the question, I'm going to say, although I love it now, Dead or Alive, the first one, the fighting game. Because I can remember I got it from a market stall. Thorsby Market was like a big market in the area where you get loads of people. Yeah, and people would be selling like copied games and shit. But I think I got a legit copy of Dead or Alive off there, and I played it in the arcades prior, and every fighting game in the arcades is rock hard. But I got it home, and I put it on, and it was that hard for me at the time, at least, that I actually ended up in tears as a kid. Because I couldn't get past like the third or fourth fight, and it really, like, I was used to playing like Street Fighter EX and Tekken and Bloody Roar and stuff, and just lacing my way through them and not having any trouble. But that one, because it's a bit more tactical and a bit more sort of, like there's combos that could just knock you straight down and there's reversals and stuff. I just wasn't used to how it played, and I was so disappointed by that, and I didn't play it for a long time. But eventually, I did just kind of sit down and get good at it, and actually enjoyed it. But yeah, at first I was very disappointed.
The first one, I kind of agree, because it's good, I find, but later on, like starting Dead or Alive 2 is a lot better, I find. I think one of the best and funniest bits about the first one was the fact, didn't it have the boob jiggle physics, like setting or something, like you could change it?
That was the second one, actually, where if you put your age up to 99, the boobs would just go everywhere.
I think on the first one, there's a specific setting, saying breast settings or something, and it's determined whether they're jiggly or not.
That's on the Saturn version, yeah, I think.
Yeah, so that'll be that one then.
Yeah,
that'll be that one.
Which was that one there, Martin? Very quickly, big screen. That one there.
This Japanese one, but yeah.
Alive.
I love how you just whipped it out like you've always got it to hand there.
No,
I saw it pull it from the shelf. There we go. Don't move your camera. You'll have to put it back together again.
Actually, talking fighters, yeah, one of my biggest like disappointments was Guys. Like, that was one of my biggest like early regrets, I think, because like, to be honest, PlayStation 4 really disappoints me with a lot of games. I hear a lot of games are so good and they're enjoyable, but they're not like the best game that I've ever heard of before, like people make out. But Guys, I remember, fucking can't wait to get this game, because it was Squaresoft beat 'em up that come from the arcades to the PlayStation. I was like, amazing. I've never played it in the arcade. Never saw it in the arcade. So I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And not only that, but they added Cloud from Final Fantasy into it. And I was like, this can't get any better. Now, it was such a stiff, like, mess of a game. It was like, the models were good. Like, what you saw in the magazines were, like, pretty and stuff. But when you actually got to play it, oh, man, it was unplayable near enough. It was just so slow of a game.
Fully disagree there. I love it, guys.
Really? Oh man, I just couldn't play it.
But saying that, I spent most of my time with an American copy, so it was probably a bit faster than what you were playing. Because the UK version,
what it is.
Well, the PAL version didn't come out until I think after the PS2 came out. So I had an American copy from my friendly local copy disc guy, and
everybody had one of them.
Apparently, and I loved it. I really loved it. And it wasn't just Cloud that was in there either. There was Tifa and Sephiroth, Vincent, Yuffie, and Zack as well. I just loved it.
The thing is, you might have made a good point. I mean, the thing is, of course, I never bought it. I never paid retail for it. It was from the copy guy, and he always used to have stuff from around the world. So maybe it was an American one on a PAL system. Maybe would have slowed it down on a PlayStation 1 a bit further.
I don't know. I loved the Tobal series as well, though, which came before that, which sort of it was like a spiritual predecessor to Guys. Because if you sort of follow the trail, it's goes from Tobal 1 and 2, then Guys, then to the Bouncer, and then Dissidia. It's all the same engine. So I suppose I came up with Tobal and enjoyed Guys because of that. I don't know, but there was also a very similar game called Destrager. I don't know if you ever played that one.
I've got it, but I've played it briefly. That was terrible as well. That was a weird, it's sort of like Power Stone, but a bad version of it.
Well, it's how I imagined the Dragon Ball Z game should play. But I had an American copy of that, and a mate of mine played it and mine loved it. Bought the UK copy, and it was a bit slower, and it just didn't play as well. So,
all right,
I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, I'll try and catch up with some of these comments because I'm way behind again.
Should we do one each or something?
Yeah, I just trying to pick out some of the edited highlights. Where we asked about what Sean asked people like to do, top 5, bottom 5s. We haven't done many of those, to be honest, over the years. So that might be something to go. Although Keith said he'd like to do top flavour crisps. I'd like to do that one. I'll be caught. That's definitely my thing.
Highly rated.
What's that one there? Oh, salt vinegar McCoys.
Salt vinegar McCoys.
Oh,
very good.
No, salt
nice.
vinegar makes me
nice to be chili, mate.
Thai chili Pringles. Thai chili Pringles, and you can't get them anywhere now, and it's so upsetting me.
We could mention our favourite gaming shop, that room, Wedgbury Way in Brawley Hill. Would that be Hidden Chest Gaming by any chance?
Hang on, I think Sean's on silent.
I prefer exposed chest gaming.
You're
better off my chest.
That's better. I missed that laugh, you see. I missed the laugh.
Is nice. Nath put the link to Manda's channel in there.
Thank
Quite a few people have subscribed.
Welcome.
I tried, but I do everything on my phone. So then when I have to go off to do it, it messes everything else up.
James, it's much more here as well. Sorry I didn't get your comment, James. Hope you're still here. Retro Claire says, any plan to put the podcast on podcasting services so Alexa can play it?
Alexa fucking talks over me anyway when I do videos. So why the fuck not?
Our Alexa doesn't listen to Mrs. Bear. She keeps talking to her. She doesn't pay any attention to her. So
Alexa, play the tNb.
Yeah.
She didn't listen. She doesn't know that.
Yeah. That's why Alexa not very well now.
Simon says happy 50th tNb.
Happy 50th team.
Okay.
Hey, she got there. There we go.
I just went round the place, didn't it? Mine started going at ease. Jesus.
That's what you get for not wearing headphones.
The music one might be a go. Quite a few people have mentioned that one as well. Generation Pixel says more RPG content. Done quite a lot of RPG.
You'll have to come back on then.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know the Russian invasion's coming, but I'm hoping it's not that close where we have to have our RPGs on.
I need to play Suikoden still.
Oh, Suikoden.
Suikoden.
It's a bit like Skyrim. That's another character. That's character isn't it? Resident Evil Survivor was awful. Vib Ribbon was shocking. I remember playing that. I thought that wasn't as exciting.
It looks shit.
Shockling. That's a local phrase, I think. Retro Chess, looking forward to see you on the quiz, Martin. When's that quiz?
It was Wednesday, but I think I'm being put back to April.
Ah. Okay.
I spoke to Paul earlier, but I don't know if he's confirmed it with everyone else yet. I guess not.
Okay,
yeah, no, it'd be easier for me to do it in a month, so I'll be about then.
There's quite a few questions. I don't think we can get through all these, but I will just try and pick a few out because we're quite close to finishing. What's a game that generally surprised you, says the Game Shack?
Strider.
Genuinely, if it was good, or genuinely, oh my god, I'm surprised that happened.
Strider on the Master System.
Yeah, I think I played it on my last lock-up show, and I've never actually played the game at all. I'd always looked at it and thought, not really something I'm into, but I actually gave it a try, and they're genuinely surprised. It's a pretty decent game.
I know it's one I'd go with, and it's one you know about, Russ.
Quantum
Solace,
yeah.
360, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good, that. I was quite surprised at that.
I thought, I didn't know what it's going to be like, but I've got to say, I was really surprised how good it was. I mean, the multiplayer, I think, was online only or something, which was disappointing, but the actual gameplay and single player was actually really fun.
I just didn't do a very good, just didn't do a very good job of it. But it was. I quite enjoyed it. It was fun to play.
I just say Flea because it's fucking brilliant.
That's on
Everyone
the.
should play Flea. It's on the other case, it's on the NES, it's on the Dreamcast. Everyone should play it.
I'm going to go back a really, really long way and say when it came out, GTA 3, because before that it was all like top down, and the closest thing to it was Driver, which was a bit shit by comparison, but that really kind of opened it up, and it was like, wow, for this game is really good.
Yeah.
Of course, everything's like that these days.
do you know what surprised me of actually I enjoyed, but it was probably I shouldn't have enjoyed? Perky Little Things. I actually enjoyed that because I liked it. It was like I took the Joy-Cons off the side of the Switch and I was like just doing it touchscreen, and I was just like, it was the last stage that I enjoyed the most because it was like Star Wars and Star Trek references galore. It was like it was so funny just seeing how things interact with each other. Yes, it's a pervy game, but it's amusing. It's over sexual. It really is, but it's very amusing. It's like a carry on film of the gaming world, really. But there's so many movie references and like gaming references. It kind of, that's what gives it its charm.
There's another game like that on the Switch as well. Crawl Code Block Knockers. That's quite fun.
Oh yeah, I saw you show. Is it you show?
Yeah. I actually even got a soundtrack with it.
Wow.
We'll put it on them. Let's have it. Let's play out the tNb with the Block Knockers soundtrack.
I mean, I'll just give you some of the track list. This is nothing like your ones, Russ. Block Knockers, Knocked Up, Let's Get Knocking, Girls on Blocks, Lipstick and Lolly Blocks, Knock Block and Roll, Nocturnal, Knocked Off, Knock Blockers, Don't Come Knocking, and Knocked Out.
A lot of knockers there, isn't there?
Knocking hell.
The game.
Knocking hell, yeah. I could hear Amanda laughing after the first couple, though.
That's when she see me play it.
I often see you play
it. They're knocking on heaven's door. Then.
Oh, yeah.
Knocking on something.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. I'll try and get through these really quickly. Sorry, guys. What do you regret getting rid of in your gaming collection?
I would answer this one especially for Jo because I know she'll sympathise, and that's my genuine pressed black disc version of Resident Evil 1.5, which my mum threw away, and I've never truly forgiven her.
I remember the tNb podcast where you talked about that. Again, I wasn't on that one, and it was like when I was driving around and you talked about it, I was like, oh man, that was a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to pull over just to like kind of give a Hail Mary.
I mean, I've got a repro now, and it's great. But it's like I did have the black disc. It was like one of those ones where it's just a black on the top as well, with just like white writing on it. But I dread to think how much that would have been worth nowadays.
Wait, it's one of them that it's hard to put a price on because no one really knows it's real.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got anything out of my collection at all. I mean, the only thing I ever got rid of years ago would have been either my Amiga originally or when I traded my Mega Drive in for Spice World and SmackDown on the PlayStation 1. Wouldn't be the tNb if I didn't mention Spice World.
I'm probably the one that's
VHS.
I'm probably the one that's got rid of most stuff. I honestly don't regret getting rid of anything. I always say, you know, I've moved on. I've moved on to something else. But yeah.
I also don't regret Sean getting rid of anything because most of it's over there.
It's only because Sean, he can come and visit it every now and again and just get reacquainted with it. You know, that's all it's there for. Yeah, Joey's devastated. You got rid of the Resident Evil 1.5.
Unbelievable.
I had to get rid of some GameCube games. This was a few years ago to get some money. I know some of them went for a bit now, but I think the one that bothers me the most now is F-Zero GX because it's not like expensive, but it's one I definitely wish I still had. I mean, some of them I've got back, such as Metroid, but
I've got the American version. I bought it a couple of days ago, and it's an American copy. It's nice to have it, but
the thing is as well, like people, not a lot of people know, and I think what has rose the price is you can actually play the arcade game on there, but you just need the the action replay to do so. So you've got the base game on there, but if you have the action replay, you can unlock all the tracks that are on the arcade as well. And it's the only way you can do it.
Raz, I'm coming to your question. Stop posting the same question. I'm getting
it.
Yeah, well, my biggest regret. I mean, I've talked about it way too much because it is a big regret. Like selling my NES collection, like, and it's like I sold all my collection at that time, but it's the NES side that I had the biggest regret for because, oh man, like NES was my first console. Like I had the Atari 2600 before, but like the NES is like that was where my real heart was from. Like that really ignited gaming for me, and for me to sell that off was a heartbreaker. And I thought I was doing good because I knew if I kept it, knew where I'd get to where I am right now, and I didn't want to be there. I just didn't want to do that, but so I sold it. And obviously, where your heart wants to be and where you are when you think that you're selling stuff off isn't the same place, and it's like, it's gutting because I can't recollect for it because I can't pay today's prices what I paid for back then.
I really regret you selling your NES collection as well because of the guys you sold it to.
Yeah.
Fuck
me. You told that story, haven't you? You told that one.
There's a YouTube video of them picking it up and everything like that. And I know they're not the most liked people, are they? So
not the most liked.
Yeah, you upset her again. She's not happy with that. Yeah, poor Joe. Sobbing her eyes out at the moment. John's here. Retro Kick. Good evening, John. I'm going to take a couple of questions. Raz, I'm going to get yours in. Please don't post more questions in the chat, guys. I'm not going to be able to get to the time, I'm afraid. Very quick one from Rob. This is the price of Asterix and the 360 late, Eddie. There might be some on that one.
I've got it on the PlayStation 2. It's all right.
But thanks for everybody posting some questions tonight. I'm sorry I can't get through them all. I'll do Ian's question and I'll get to Razzy's last of all, and then I'll have to we'll have to wind it up. Ian says, which game do you wish you bought early on and ended up paying a fortune because you didn't buy it when it was cheap? Ooh, good question.
Rule the rose.
Oh man.
Only one I can think of is Tengen Tetris.
Also, Eddie showing us. Oh, yeah, we've never seen this. Well, he was. He's put it away now.
Oh, sorry.
So I was a bit slow on the uptake there.
There you go, Rob. There you go, Sean. Not to tease you. But the thing is, Sean, like, honestly, Rule of Rose is nothing compared to the rest of the games on the PlayStation 2 you need.
Yeah, I tell you what's absolutely ridiculously priced. Go on. Q1, is
Why
it?
is that gone up more?
Jesus, it went at 800 quid on eBay the other day.
Good grief.
I think I've got that somewhere. I completed it on where is it? Fucking I don't know where it is now. No, but like the thing is, like the rarest game is Sengoku Anthology, which sold recently for like over £1,000, which is somewhere, and that's my most expensive, the rarest PlayStation 2 game. But there's some Rule of Rose is nothing compared to some of the PlayStation 2 games you need.
No.
I wish I'd kept my Tombi when I was a kid. So I wish I'd kept my copy of Tombi when I was a kid.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Obscene a bit now.
Is that PS1?
Yeah. It's only around 100, but that's still about 70 quid more than I'll pay for a PS1 game.
Definitely.
Unless it's gone up.
I always tend to remember. I remember walking around years ago thinking, did I see that game that was dirt cheap, and then found out it was worth a lot of money? Because when I first started collecting, I got no idea what certain things were going for. And then I'm pretty sure when people say, oh yeah, this game's now worth 60, 70, 80 quid, and I'm not going, I'm sure I walked past at a car boot for a few years ago for £1. I can't quite remember, but I don't think I've ever been caught. The only thing I didn't buy early on, which was cheap, but I haven't bought, was the Game Boy player the Game Boy Advance player for the GameCube.
Oh yeah,
I could have bought that dirt cheap, and now I know what they go for, but I haven't bought one, so I didn't really apply.
I do have that, and I've had it since back in the day, and unfortunately, I didn't realize how expensive the disc is, because you can get the actual adapter for fairly cheap, but it's the disc that you need, the boot up disc for it. And I didn't realize how much that was worth. And back in the day when I had my purge of my boxes, that was one of the ones that went.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I just saw something that Joe said as well. Psycho Fox in the Master System. I saw cheap and didn't get it. And that's the thing. Like, I actually got Psycho Fox in a bundle recently that was like, I think the games worked out to like £3 or £4 a game as the bundle. And that's it. It's like some of these games that we've missed out and stuff, sometimes you will find them.
Yeah.
It's not impossible to get what Castlevania is, like the big PlayStation 1 game at the moment, but not everyone knows that is an expensive game, and they will put that in a bundle randomly, and like you can get it cheap and stuff. It's just there is hope for a lot of the games that all of us are looking out for. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, Keith's mentioned it there.
Rarities. The true rarities are the ones that are cheap as well, like the ones that no one's looking for because everyone's looking for these other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keith says they're £40 off eBay. Buying Castlevania 79, £40 off eBay, and now it's almost 300 quid. I do agree with that comment what Joe says there about that. It's a bit too much what it is. I find Psycho Fox a little bit slippery on the controls. I've played it a few times, and having seen Psycho Fox Go for someone just gave me that. I think I paid that 30 quid at the gaming market, didn't I? It was about 25, 30 quid I paid for it. I think you were with me then when I bought it. So I think I asked you how much it was at the time when you said, about 25 or something like that. So I don't know. I can't remember.
That's a problem like now as well. Like people are not buying games. Like the value of games is not with the value of what it's worth. Like people are just doing it because they want to tick numbers off. And that is like where the values are now becoming. It's not how good the game is. It's how often does it come up on eBay. And it's a bit of a shame, really.
Yeah. Gordon makes a good point. When everyone looks left, go right, buy PC games. The PC cardboard PC box games are ridiculously priced. I mean, I couldn't believe. I saw an auction about 12, 15, 18 months ago, and I couldn't believe how much they were selling for. I thought there's actually no worth in it, but it's usually the DVD case games got absolute value to it. It's the big box PC cardboard ones that are right. This last question for Raz, because he has asked it.
I'm just gonna duck out for a second. Don't end this without me, by the way.
No, we'll come back. Don't worry. Raz asked a question: did you ever buy a system for just one game? I bought a PlayStation 2 first time for Final Fantasy X, finished, played it, and sold it thereafter. Yeah. I'm sure Reddy's going to tell us a story.
I can just say no.
I'm like Raz. I bought a PS2, but I bought it for black. First person shooter, black. Obviously a long time ago. But same Raz, bought a PS2.
Nice. Have you ever done that at all?
Yeah, I was going to say I got for Halo 2, I bought a Crystal Xbox just because I knew that was coming out, and I used to play Halo a lot with my friends. Halo 2 coming out looked amazing, and I think that was quite far into the kind of system, and they brought out the Crystal one, so I managed to get from Woolworths a Crystal Xbox, including FIFA, what would have been 2002, for £100. And I tried to sell FIFA. I was going to get £40 for it, but the person let me down, so I just gave it to a mate. But I would have got that super cheap by standards. But yeah, like that game was just amazing. Remember Midnight?
I've never played Halo. Is it?
Have you not?
Is it a decent game?
You never played Halo?
Never played Halo.
The new one's terrible, in my opinion.
Is it really?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. Well, Sean might like it. It just reminds me an awful lot of. They've just taken COD and just tried to shoehorn it into Halo, but it doesn't work for me. Not like the original ones, like 1, 2, 3, 4 went a bit weird, and then I didn't bother much after that.
Yeah, I love Halo 2 multiplayer, especially. That's so much fun.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. To play multiplayer with some friends.
Just get one over by train.
But also, it's multiplayer is one thing, but it's like that local multiplayer. That's a different. That you can't get that experience online.
No, that was it. 2 TVs set up by which we have an Ethernet cable, wasn't it? Ethernet cable plugged in the back. 2 Xboxes, Ethernet cable, someone on a small TV, somebody else on a big TV.
No, we had 4 people with one screen. No, it wasn't 14 inches. It was a bigger screen, but it was one small living room with like a few burly lads playing Halo together.
We had 2 on a big screen and then 1 on a little screen just to make it kind of interesting, and like those kind of teams made it a lot of fun.
What we did was we had TV in my room, TV in my brother's room, like me and my cousin in here, my brother and my other cousin in there. And then me and my cousin made new characters based on Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers. So, like, the proper names like Eugene Skulovich and Farkas Bulkmeyer. So, every time I got a kill, I would just shout out Bulkmeyer at the top of my voice. Like, or I just nick up on someone, shout out Bulkmeyer, and then clobber them in the back of the head with a rocket launcher. Love that. So, it was fun back then.
Okay. Anybody add to that one before I move on quickly? Or
yeah,
so, you got something to show, didn't you?
I've got something to show. I've got like a show and tell just because it was this. So, a big screen. How you doing?
Yeah.
So like I bought a game before. I bought a load of systems, but it was always the promise of what the systems are going to deliver rather than one game in particular. But I bought a system that I had a game for like at least a year before I bought the system, and just because I knew I needed that game, and it was Ni no Kuni. So I bought this big honking like strategy guide, big hard book, the game, and it was like £10 or something. And I didn't buy the system for a year, and I had this on the shelf, like looking at it, going, "Oh man, I can't wait." Ni no Kuni. It's like so many good things. Studio Ghibli. The whole, I love RPGs, just everything about it. And it was like a year later until I got a PlayStation 3, because I was hoping to get it from the car boot, and I never did. It was eventually from CEX, and I put it on. First, of course, the first game I got my PlayStation 3. This is the first game I played, and I just fell in love with it. I absolutely love this game. Like, I think a lot of people probably got disappointed with their first game that they played on the system. This definitely wasn't. This is cemented in there with my favorite games of all times. And it's like I just knew, when you see a game, sometimes you just know, and this was one of them. It was like, it never disappointed. It was just, there was a few like moments of misstep because it wasn't quite the turn-based game that I liked, But eventually, like, I enjoyed the combat, and it was like, because the combat on this is very different to a lot of RPGs, and you have to get used to it. And once you get used to it, you're like, oh my god, that it is so fun to play. It's almost like an action RPG. Great game, and yeah, I'm so glad this is the PlayStation 3 for me. This one game.
Brilliant. A couple of people have also commented. Quite a few. I'm surprised by that question because when people said that, I wasn't quite sure, but quite a few people appear to have bought systems. Ross bought a PlayStation 3 for Uncharted. Susie bought GameCube to play Animal Crossing. Ian bought a Xbox 360 for Gears of War, and then sold it, and then bought another for Gears of War 2. Nate needed a doorstop to an Xbox. Keith bought a PlayStation 3 for Gran Turismo 5. Joe bought Heavenly Sword for a PlayStation 3. So there's quite a few people have done things like that over the years, which is interesting. Keith, thanks very much for calling in, Keith. We are going to wrap it up now, but thanks for coming in, mate, and appreciate your contribution to the chat and questions this evening. Russ says Nino Kuni looks amazing. It's way too much like Pokemon.
Nothing like Pokemon. I see where you yeah. It's got Pokemon elements because you have to collect like different creatures and stuff like that along the way. So it's got that Pokemon element, but it's nothing like Pokemon. Nothing like it.
I just like the little guy that sounds like Rod Gilbert.
Oh man, Drippy is the best fucking video game character of all time. It fucking is.
Oh, yeah. That shirt was the first.
He is the best character ever in any video game. I fucking love this little dude.
It does sound like Rod Gilbert, though.
No, yeah, I had to figure out who he was. He is actually someone, but yeah.
Rod Gilbert.
Basically, these like little creatures, they've all got Welsh voices, all of them. But yeah, he's the funniest character of any video game ever made. I just fucking love it, and that's a problem. Like Ni no Kuni 2 technically probably is a better game, but the fact he's not got Drippy in it, it's not as good. It's like he makes Ni no Kuni 1. He really does.
So I didn't get on with the game, but I did like him. But I'll just add to it. I bought an Xbox One to play Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it wasn't very good.
Oh.
And neither was the console either. I hated it.
Yeah. It's a climb.
John goes to show there's one born every minute, and he bought a CDI for the Zeldas. They were, weren't they? And Rob says keep going until 2:00. I don't think so. Okay, so
plenty of views are left. Let's go.
Oh, well, I've got work in the morning, so
I've got a whole week off. So yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks to everybody who's put questions in the chat. I got through most of them. I didn't get through all of them. Really sorry about that, guys. We all got full glasses at the moment. Just if you haven't, can you just get a full glass very quick?
Go.
Crack out Excalibur.
You think it's full?
Yeah, the illusion is there, Martin. It's fine. Yeah.
Glass full of air.
That's
Martin,
it, yeah.
where's all your 10% beers?
What?
Where's all your 10% beers gone?
Me?
Martin.
Well, Martin.
He likes his strong beers.
No, I had them all earlier.
You don't doubt it.
Eddie, you said you're off. Was it Eddie? You said you're off for a week. I've been off for the last week, and I don't go back till week Wednesday.
Nice.
So yeah.
Billy's here as well. Cast Strength Gaming. Good evening, mate.
Amazing how he turns up when we talk about drink, isn't
it? Cast Strength Gaming. Yeah. Hope you're well, mate. Anyway, see you in here. Just posted that link, Rach, again for Manda's channel. Hopefully that will show for that. You're welcome, Amanda. Guys, we all got full glasses. I just want to just give a quick toast, not to us. Well, to us in a way, so we carry on doing this, but also to everybody who's been watching these out there and listening to these over the last couple of years. Without the support of the people in the chat and everybody out there, we wouldn't be doing this. So I would just like to give a special toast to everybody out there who supported the tNb, supported the podcasts, Thank you so much indeed for all your support. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. So this is to you. So everybody out there, thank you very much
Cheers,
indeed.
everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
There we go. And like I said, hopefully we'll carry on doing this and keep going, and maybe have 50 odd more. So let's hope we can do that anyway. Guys, I'm gonna call it a night there because it's getting on a bit. We've done 2.25 hours, so it's a bit longer than usual. But thank you so much for coming in, Martin. Thanks very much for stepping in so eloquently for us. Thanks for putting Manda on camera as well. Lovely to meet her, and we hopefully see her channel grow and the links there as well.
Thank you. I've got a special treat for you as well, Russ, quickly.
Have you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Put this full screen quickly, please.
Full screen. Oh, right. Okay.
We're not.
He's not wearing a tie around his neck, but
Russ,
it's somewhere.
Just for you.
Oh, there we go. I'm missing that one. I'll have to get hold of that. No, thank you, mate. I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen there. I've got that half nude photo of Birdsell up there. I wasn't quite sure what you're going to show me, so that's quite a surprise. Guys, thanks so much for your time again this evening. Thanks for doing it. Appreciate having you all on, and it's great to have you all here again. And thanks for your contributions to previous 49 episodes. We can't do these things alone, and it's great that you've all got behind it. And I know we've had a few ups and downs getting things sorted, but thank you so much for doing it as well. I really mean that. It's been brilliant to do these with you guys, my friends. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Just one more thing before we go. There's been one guy who's been on every single one of these podcasts, and that's you, Russ. So thank you for thanks to you for running this, for hosting it, just for being there every time.
It's a pleasure, mate. It's never a chore to do this. It's always fun to do it, and I always find sometimes I'm perhaps not in the best frame of mind to do it, or I've had a crap day, or just don't feel like doing it at all. And honestly, just coming on here, and whether we're doing it in the old days or just coming on here and doing this, it's brilliant. And I never fail to get into these. So I I just hold it all together. You guys really are the stars, because you're the ones who contribute so much about it. We've all got different areas we're interested in, and I know Rob's not here, but Rob brings so much to these as well, and he's incredibly enthusiastic when he does this, and it's a shame we don't have him on more than we do, but I don't want to forget he's not here tonight. He's with us all when we're doing these. So, but without this, without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. I just hold it all together. So, but thank you very much, Pete. I do appreciate that. It's nice to be thought of in such a way. Before I start crying,
I say if I'm having a bad time, or if I don't feel like doing it, I just don't do it. But you're always here, rain or shine, and it's something I couldn't have committed to for 2 years at least. So just thank you.
No problem at all, guys. Right then, I'll drop everybody backstage, and I'll do a wind up. So, guys, thanks so much indeed. And if you'd like to give a quick wave on your way out, as always, Martin, thank you again for being our
Thank you for having me again.
guest as well. All right, see you later, folks. You can all stop waving now that you've gone off. Brilliant stuff. Thanks so much indeed to everybody who's been here tonight in the comments, and also with our guests this evening, and also the panelists as well. It's been brilliant fun. It's been 50 great episodes. I hope you've found something amongst them to entertain yourself, and thank you so much for being here as well tonight. It's meant an awful lot to us to do this, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm not going to keep you hanging around too long. I know it's getting late and people have work in the morning. We're back in 2 weeks' time for episode 51. Hopefully, we might have David Retro Games Play Badly on. We may do. It might not be. It might be somebody else. I hope you can join us. Thank you so much again for your time. It's been brilliant. And it's another 50 episodes. But do take care. My name on the way out. This is the Retro Bear on behalf of the tNb saying thanks very much and have a good evening.